All right, Texas Democratic Party Convention 2026. We continue talking to very important people who are rolling through here. Very, very important person standing here to my left. I still think of you as Mayor Ron.
Oh.
Do people call you that?
Yeah,
still
a handful, yeah.
Yeah. Ron Nirenberg is here, running for Bexar County Judge, nominee for Bexar County Judge.
Yes, sir.
And also a book has happened.
Yeah.
Talk about your book.
It is a memoir. It really was intended first to be a letter to my wife and son about the time I served, and the time that they quite often didn't see me.
Yeah.
And the stories that kind of happened in between the media articles that would come out, but obviously you can't talk about that collective moment in time, which was significant over the last 8 to 12 years.
Sure.
Without talking about what happened before that and the context and the values that brought you up to make the decisions that you made, and also the outlook for the future. So it turned into a memoir. It's called Nirenberg, The Education of a Texas Public Servant, and folks can get it at their local bookstore or online.
I can't wait to read it.
Thank you.
You've had so you're set up right across the way from us over here. You've had a line all the whole time you've been here, people wanting to talk to you.
Yeah.
Tell us what's happening in Bexar County, San Antonio. What's the job at hand for the county judge?
Well, we are in a moment in time, an inflection point in Texas, and that is one in which we are experiencing incredibly rapid growth. We're also seeing tumult within our political system.
Yep.
And it's a time where the legislature, under one-party rule, Republicans, have dismantled municipal authority.
Yep.
And really restricted the resources that public institutions, that communities have to deal with the challenges they're experiencing. So we are in a moment in time in Bexar County and across the state where county governments are going to have to step up with a more forward-looking and aggressive vision for the future.
Yeah.
That I don't think we've necessarily paid attention to for a while, because county governments have generally flown under the radar.
Right.
But it's going to be increasingly important to have that kind of stewardship and leadership. And I'm excited about the possibility in Bexar County because we have enormous opportunities there as a community to uplift residents, to continue progress on economic mobility, to harness growth so that it's productive and positive for our community. And there's a whole set of leaders in county government right now that are starting to step up, new leaders. We have some veterans like Clay Jenkins in Dallas that we can form coalition and begin to have really strong, progressive, forward-looking leadership at county government that's going to take the state and turn it around.
Very, very good. Absolutely, at the county level is where a lot of the data center fight is happening at this point. How does that look in Bexar County in particular at this point?
It's tough right now because the way our law and our state law is set up gives local communities, counties or cities very little authority. Say so. And I think this is one area where you're going to see some bipartisan alignment in making sure that we do have some rules, some laws in place that allow communities to self-govern on the issue of data centers. And we're not going to be able to stop data centers, nor would we want to, because everything we do is basically on the cloud and depends on that kind of computing power. But we can make sure that we protect our water supplies. We can protect our residents' pocketbooks when it comes to the kind of energy capacity that's needed, and that we can make sure that energy capacity is not adding to our emissions and making our environment worse off. We can also protect our natural heritage. I mean, some of these data centers are going in places where we're destroying the natural beauty of our state, which is one of the unique God-given treasures that we have.
Absolutely.
So there's things that we need to do as we govern the process of data centers being built that we just can't right now because of state law, and I think this is one area where we can find some agreement between Democrats and Republicans.
That'd be nice to see, for sure. Talk about the convention itself and kind of the vibe that you're detecting around here. There's a lot of optimism in the air, a lot of confidence.
The vibe I'm sensing is muted optimism and caution, which I think is the absolute right, appropriate vibe. What we have to remember is that we didn't get here overnight.
Right.
The license that we have given Donald Trump was because of a lack of participation on the part of our electorate across the country that has allowed bad people like Donald Trump to to be in office once again.
Yep.
We've not focused enough on the outcomes and the results that our policies are intended to provide, and that we have to get back on producing results. And until we start to do that, and we prove to Democrats, we prove to residents on all sides of the political spectrum that government actually can do what it says, we're not going to have any wins to count. And so let's not look at the scoreboard. Let's focus on doing the job, keeping promises, fulfilling the obligations that we have to improve our communities for our residents. And when we start stacking up those wins, then we can start saying the future is here. Democratic leadership has finally arrived in Texas. We're getting there. We're moving in the right direction, but we've got to stay strong, focused, and not count our chickens yet.
That's excellent. That's great stuff. Ron Nirenberg, the book is out. Is it out in stores now?
It's out.
Terrific.
You can get it at TU Press. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it at your local bookstore.
Please get it. I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for the time.
Awesome. Hello, Representative Rosenthal. How
Hello,
are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited.
Tell me what you're doing here today.
So today we're here at the Democratic Convention of Texas. I've never been at one of these before.
Really?
I have never been to a Texas Democratic Party convention.
Well, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. So I gave my speech on stage last night.
Yes.
And of course, I'm the Democratic nominee for the Texas Railroad Commission, which is the most important agency most people have never heard of because it has nothing to do with trains. It does regulate the oil and gas industry in our state.
That's right. And there was a very special guest that came out during general session last night. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
That's right. So I believe I'm the only candidate in all of Texas to get a cross-partisan endorsement. And one of the Republican candidates for railroad commissioner, the only one of their entire field that had significant experience in the oil field, a gentleman named Hawk Dunlap, endorsed me and introduced me on stage at the Democratic Party convention.
How did that happen? Like, where were the beginnings of that conversation? You know, it's just so hard to imagine, especially right now, like actually reaching across the aisle. But how did you do that?
Right. So the thing is, Hawk Dunlap and I both have decades of experience. Mm-hmm. We're literally old oil field hands that worked on drilling rigs. You know, I did production platforms and pipelines. Mm-hmm. He did well plugging. Mm-hmm. The guy was an oil well firefighter. So one of these daredevils that runs to the explosion when a well blows up.
Yeah.
Those guys don't scare easy. Yeah. Right? So we kind of have a relationship outside of politics, and a camaraderie that comes from decades of experience in the field, which is, and he also recognizes this is a position that's far too important for just partisan politics. This is the backbone of the Texas economy. Texas is also one of the most egregious polluters in the entire world. So in the most pollution-ridden country in the world, Texas is the worst state in this country, and this commission needs to rein that in. He sees that every day. He works on cleaning up those messes every day, and he wants a commissioner that will be dedicated to working for the people of Texas instead of the partisan power bosses in Austin.
Yeah, running into fires, that's crazy. But courage clearly does not have a party. And
that's right.
That's what we're doing here. So tell me a little bit more about how the atmosphere is. You know, going into this election, we're talking about reaching across the aisle, like shaking hands. What do you think people are doing, and how do you think that people can bring that with them as we leave convention?
So this is a good question, because right now I think while we see in politics our political leaders are very partisan and very polarized, I think out there in the real world people live right of center, left of center. Most folks are not involved in politics every day, but stuff has gotten so bad that it's encroaching on people's lives. And when that happens, people get sick of the division, the hate, and the just craziness that's in politics, and they're looking for sanity. They're looking for us to just do the damn job and get out of their face, right? And so I think this is a cycle where people will be willing to show up for positive change, because that's the only way you're going to make an improvement in your life, is to change the leadership in the state.
Yeah. Well, I hope you do your job and don't get out of our face. But it was very lovely to have you, Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.
Texas Democratic Convention 2026, Corpus Christi, Texas. We have talked to so many cool people. We've met lots of new people. We're also getting to talk to people who we have known for a good long time and are very, very big fans of, one of whom would be our very, very good friend, Vikki Goodwin. Hello.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
It's so great to see you. I've talked to too many people today. My brain is beginning to seize up on me a little bit. So my
That's
apologies.
what convention does to you.
Man, I am feeling it totally.
A lot of people, a lot of things going on.
Vikki is our nominee for lieutenant governor.
Yes.
We've been talking a lot about the things that Dan Patrick has, the obstacles that Dan Patrick has placed in front of Texas.
Yes.
That would be immediately removed should he be replaced with you.
Right.
Which is one of the big reasons we're big fans.
Like vouchers.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's talk about some of the things that would change immediately.
Absolutely. Well, we don't need school vouchers siphoning money out from our public schools.
Nope.
Our public schools are really in dire straits right now. They're running deficit budgets, having to cut programs, having to cut teachers, having to close schools. So we got to support our public schools. Dan Patrick wants to force his intolerant religious views on all of us.
There's been news about that just the last couple of days since we've been in Corpus Christi.
He says that's not a thing in the United States, and I think that's what we were founded on, is religious freedom.
Yes, absolutely. No doubt, for sure.
Yeah.
The Founding Fathers would disagree with Dan Patrick, I do believe.
I think so.
If we could ask them. Talk about the convention itself. You've been very, very busy.
Yes.
How has it been? How's the vibe? How are
Oh
the
my
Democrats?
gosh, people are very excited. I've met so many people who say this is the first convention they've ever been to.
Me too.
And that's fabulous.
Yeah, it's really
You
good.
know, people that haven't always been involved are coming out and getting involved now.
Yep.
2026 is going to be great for us.
A lot of the people that are saying that are candidates. A lot of people are up
Yeah.
out of their chair and getting involved, and it's really, really great to see.
That's
sure.
right. People are not happy with the direction that things are going in the United States, but in Texas in particular, so they're getting more involved. That's what I did in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's my first time to run for office, and this feels like the same kind of vibe on steroids.
Coming into the convention, people were talking about unity and whether or not
Yeah.
the Democrats were going to be able to achieve unity coming out of here.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, especially now that we're coming into the home stretch at the end of the convention?
Absolutely.
Your thoughts about that from the beginning up to this point?
I mean, I think that there is total unity in the Democratic Party. There's always going to be the outsiders that try to make it look like we
Right.
are not unified,
Right.
but people are very friendly. The statewide candidates are all working together. Excellent, because we all know that it is so critical in 2026 that we get this thing done.
For sure.
And we have to work together to make that happen.
Walking around this place, it's been everyone. It's been every different age, every different creed, every different
Yeah.
shade of people.
Yeah.
So, just an amazing cross section of Texans that happens right here in this place.
Yeah, what an amazing, diverse group we have.
Yeah, it's awesome. And, compare and contrast with what happened in Houston a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
where people are getting literally kicked out for their religion,
Right.
out loud, which is still just amazing that's
I
actually
know.
happening.
Very sad. I feel bad for those folks that don't feel included. In the Democratic Party, we include everybody. We know that people are different, have different backgrounds, have different experiences, but that all adds value. That strengthens us when we allow for that diversity in our party.
Very, very good. And once again, to wrap up, on tangible results, things that actually happen when elections go the way we want them to go. Early on, we've talked about vouchers, we've talked about the religious angle. There are so many different things that change immediately on a functional sort of level with a brand new lieutenant governor from a different party.
Improved health care in
Okay.
Texas.
Give me some on that. Talk about that.
Too many people don't have health insurance.
Yep.
Too many people see how their insurance costs go up so much from one year to the next.
Sure.
And we can do so much better for people. We can make sure that we're putting more emphasis on prevention and taking care of people in an affordable way.
Right. Very, very good. Anything else?
Water has also come up as a
Water,
huge
we gotta talk
issue.
about water. Talk about
Especially
it.
since we're in Corpus Christi. We can't not say water.
I don't know if it's me, but the time that we've been in Corpus, being around, going to the store, going to restaurants, kind of just being around town, I feel there's a heaviness that I think has to come from that issue.
Yeah.
It's on everybody's mind. It's kind of it almost seems like you know what I'm saying? It's a vibe change.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
You know, I think thankfully there's been some good rain in the state, and that
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah.
That delays the crisis that we're having. But, I think the heaviness comes from the fact that our water bills are going up. Why are our
Sure.
water bills going up? Well,
Sure.
it's because industry is getting water for cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And so guess who is paying for the water?
Absolutely. Every single one of us.
You and me.
That's right. Did you notice, too, and I'll close out on this, there was a fair amount of Republican trolling happening out on the street outside of this place. How strange is that when it used to kind of be beneath their notice?
I think they're worried. I think they're worried, and that's why they're here. They're trying to see what we're doing, trying to throw us off our game, but we are not going to be thrown off our game. We are going to do this.
I find it hilarious. I find it inspiring, in fact. So it's a sign that we're on the right track.
That's right.
Anything else before we wrap up?
No, I think it's been a great convention. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much. Vikki Goodwin is our candidate for Lieutenant Governor. We're so behind you and so excited for you, and let's go.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, it's the Texas Democratic Party Convention 2026, Corpus Christi, Texas. One of our more familiar faces, someone we've had on our airwaves a lot, is Dallas County Chairman Kardal Coleman. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
It's terrific to see you. How has convention been for you? We've had a great time. From what I can tell, super positive vibes, lots and lots of confidence, lots and lots of unity, I would say. I do want to ask you about that, the unity question, your opinion of, are we doing good with unity? If not, what needs to happen? Talk about that if you would.
This is a really good convention. We have a big tent, and there's something here for everybody. I've noticed that. No one really feels left out or pushed aside. Yeah. So there's something for everybody to get into. From the speakers the keynote speakers who are on the stage, there's a wide range of ideas from some of those candidates, Bernie Sanders to Governor Pritzker. Yep. So it's a little something here for everybody. So I think we're doing a good job as far as unity, and we still have a few months to go. Sure. And from the party perspective, local and state, we have to convince some of our folks of why they should vote with us.
For sure. Talk about your area, Dallas County, in that way, and from a unity perspective as well. Back home, how are things going? What needs to happen? What's going on there from a unity angle?
Things are going well in Dallas County. Look, we're tried and true. We're proven. We have some good elected officials and a strong county party that's been battle tested. So our battle cry is to really rally the troops. We have outgoing Congresswoman Jasmine Crocker. We have an incoming Congressman-elect, hopefully. Yep. Dr. Freddie Haynes will be here today. So there's a lot for us in Dallas County that we can organize and galvanize around, even some folks who are lower on the ballot. So that's our hope, to really pull some of those folks up, introduce them to the masses, and hopefully get them on the Progress Texas podcast.
I think it's possible. We do all that for sure.
Look, you guys have an amazing follower and listenership in Dallas County, and we really love what you're doing.
Yeah, we sure do. I've mentioned, I'll just say this out loud. When I'm in Dallas County, I frequently feel almost a little more at home with the Dallas County Democrats than I do with my own people in Travis County sometimes. I love my Travis County people, don't get me wrong, but working for Progress Texas and getting to know people in Dallas has been a huge part of enjoying this job for me. So
thank you for sharing that. That's what we want to create. We want to create that culture, that down-home feel where you can get in, organize, plug in, connect, and engage. That's who we are at our core.
Well, and I think it's credit to you and the way you're running things there. It's a very wide open door for anybody who wants to come and contribute. It's very cool. So talk about coming out of here. How do you feel for your confidence level? Also want to have you explain to the listeners why it's so important, even if you're showing up for James Tallarico, if you're showing up for Gina Hinojosa, why it's important to go all the way down that ballot and cover it all. How do people's lives change when there's more Democrats in control?
People's lives change, man. I'm glad you asked that question. In 2024, we lost a couple of seats that multi-county, some of the judges, Court of Appeals, people aren't familiar with Court of Criminal Appeals and what that even means.
People don't think about that stuff.
Yeah, but then there was a major trial out in Collin County recently. And so now some folks are asking for an appeal there in that situation. Mm-hmm. Well, it helps if you have Democrats on that bench to be able to grant such a thing.
That's right.
Right. So when you think about going all the way down ballot, you need Democrats in every position if you really want justice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the lens we have to think about of not just top of the ticket. We're excited about our nominee, but if you look at all the way down the ballot, we need justice in every position that we can get.
Right. It's really unfortunate how little attention the courts and those type of positions, those elected positions, get, because they are, like you say, very, very consequential towards, a decision that blows your hair back that you see coming out of a court. Pretty good chance that it's, somebody that doesn't agree with you that's sitting on that bench up there.
That's correct. So, and then one more thing. In Dallas County, this is our banner year, 20 years of being blue. So we want to put a stamp on things this year that we're not going to take any steps back, no regression.
Yeah.
We're moving forward. 20 years of being blue, and we're hopefully having 20 more.
Love it. Anything else? What's your plan rest of the day? Rest of the day.
I am going to go to general session. I have a chance to speak at general session with the Harris County chair, recruiting precinct chairs.
Yeah.
Who are the backbone of our party. So we'll be recruiting precinct chairs from the stage, and then also announcing our plans for Freedom Summer. That's our coordinated campaign.
Yeah.
Freedom Summer, free to live the way you think you should live. Nobody should tell you how to live. You understand that from Progress, Texas.
I love that. Absolutely. That's terrific. Kardal Coleman. He heads up the Dallas County Democratic Party. Always great to see you, and we'll see you again soon, I'm sure.
Thank you.
All right.
Happy 16th.
Cheers. Okay, everybody, back here at the Texas Democratic Party Convention. We are having such a good time in Corpus Christi. We're here on day 2, and one of our favorite new people who we have met during this experience is congressional candidate Bill Bartie, who is here running for the U.S. Congress out of Southeast Texas. Hello, Bill. How are you?
Hello, Chris. Good to see you, man. Good to be here.
Yeah, very, very good. Tell us all about the part of Texas that you are seeking to represent in Washington, D.C.
Okay, it's actually Congressional District 14, which comprises all of Orange County, a greater portion of Jefferson County, all of Galveston County, a portion of Brazoria County, and even a small portion of Fort Bend County.
Okay. Tell us about the needs of that bunch. You know, everybody talks affordability. That's something that's very universal. Talk about that, but also any other particular needs or issues that are important to the folks that you're trying to reach.
Yeah, well, what's happening right now in our area is the same thing that's happening, as you're saying, Chris, around the nation, affordability, but being able to afford good health care.
Yes.
You know, I'd like to see health care provided for every American. Everyone should have the opportunity to go to a doctor and don't make a decision between paying the mortgage, buying grocery, or seeing a doctor for their health.
Yes, sir.
So we need some universal health care. I support the Affordable Health Care Act, Affordable Care Act. Now, and there are other things of affordability. We have gas prices that are astronomical right now.
Yep.
Even the price of airline tickets have gone up almost 100% because of the fuel costs that are involved within an administration that's doing things that they are just not in sync with the American way with helping America.
Right.
I want to be there to be sure and join others who would be thinking along the lines that I'm thinking, and we would be able, I would even work across the aisles. But we want to do things that would help folk even in our congressional district and even all around America, man, because it is horrible right now, and we need a change. And I am afforded the opportunity, or I've been afforded the opportunity to avail myself, to put myself here for the change.
And we're glad to see that. Talk about the incumbent. Talk about what's across the aisle right now in that particular seat. What do you intend to do differently than the guy who's got the job now?
He has served, and he's been there, and I admire his service. However, I think it's time for a change because when we are not in sync with each other, when you can make decisions that don't support industrial workers, the the actual union workers, AFL-CIO, the IBEW guys, the boxcar workers, all of these workers, man, who are actually living paycheck to paycheck, supporting their families, but yet we will make decisions and do votes that would be against price increase, wage increases, where you'll be against being sure that we can feed children and families who are really food insecure right now. Yeah. Those are the things that I know that's not going on, that the incumbent is not being supportive of, and being supportive of the great big bill, the ugly bill that has actually changed this nation. He supports that, and we have got to change that.
Yep. Lots of change needs to happen for sure. So we have had a great time meeting people like you. Everybody seems to be really, really happy and really fired up and confident, and everything. The energy seems to be really good. Some folks in the media want to make a big deal about Democratic unity and whether or not Democrats are going to be able to unite coming out of this convention moving towards November. What are your thoughts on unity? Do you detect any issues with that? What do you think needs to happen? Give me your views on whether or not the party's unified.
Chris, being here and this being the third day, and I see the actual interactions of individuals of all races, of all ethnic groups, individuals of all sexual persuasions, individuals who are just being included. Inclusivity rather is what we need, man. trying to exclude is real easy.
Yes.
But to include individuals, that's why even with the monies that actually are going with ICE and breaking up families and doing these things. Okay, I want us to have immigration laws, but we need to have those laws actually enforced in an amicable way, in a way that's not even oppressive.
Right.
Now, if an individual just wants to be abrasive and they shouldn't be in this country, well, we have to do something about that.
Yes, sir.
But these individuals are here working, helping our country now, doing the work that many of us natural-born Americans won't do. And we need the service.
That's right.
Man, look, we have got to support those things. And I know that coming out of this convention, we have folk who represent all of those different variables that are in the equation of being an American and being a Democrat and just being a good citizen. And being a good USA citizen means that you are going to be helpful toward everybody. You know, it says we the people, not you all the people or those people. It says we the people.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I'm dealing with, we the people, and being sure that we are all included.
Yeah, I love it. I love all of that.
No one's left behind.
Awesome. It's a Democratic nominee for U.S. Congress, Bill Bartie. It's been so great to get to know you this weekend, and we wish you all the best and best of luck in your campaign.
I appreciate this opportunity, man. God bless you. And look here, Thurman Bill Bartie, Congressional District 14. You may know someone in any one of those 5 counties. Ask them to consider me and subsequently vote for me. God bless you.
Awesome. Very good. All right, it's once again, we continue through the long line of folks doing all they can to make a big difference in Texas here at the Texas Democratic Convention, Corpus Christi, Texas. I have a lot more House candidates today than we had on the first day, which is great. Cate Brennan is yet another also a little bit of a recurring theme running out of the Tarrant County sort of area, which we clearly are big fans of. The bellwether part of that. Talk about that. Actually, let's start with that. The well-worn statement, Tarrant County and Fort Worth, as that area goes, so goes the rest of the state. We find that to be pretty accurate. What do you think?
Absolutely. I put on my website, and this goes for any of the candidates in Tarrant County, 10 reasons why I'm going to win HG 98. And one of those reasons is the 300% increase in primary voters.
Yeah.
One of those big reasons is Taylor Ramette.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
His SD9 overlaps about 50% with my district.
Okay.
There's a strong female advantage, and we have, not to, anything against our male candidates,
of course,
but we have amazing female candidates all up and down the ballot.
That you do.
In Tarrant County, as well as we know the whole state. So it's really exciting.
Yeah.
And there's real MAGA fatigue out there.
Yes.
I have, when my team and I go out and we canvass, we're trying to hit a pretty broad audience, a pretty broad spectrum of people, so we don't really know. So we're doing a lot of voter ID, and there's a lot of people saying, I just can't vote Republican anymore.
Yeah.
I've had it with MAGA, and my opponent represents that.
My mother-in-law lives in Fort Worth, and so her and a lot of her friends, I'm hearing a lot of those same themes coming from them.
Yeah.
And so I've been married for a little over a quarter century now to a Fort Worth girl. So I've been there a lot. I've watched it kind of develop over the last couple decades. One thing that I notice and appreciate about Fort Worth in particular is a low tolerance for BS. That is a genuine sort of place. That's a place where people keep it real. They may not necessarily agree with each other, but there is a very low tolerance for theater or things that are being cooked up in some way that's not authentic. It's a very authentic place, and it seems to me like that is something that a lot of folks are waking up to, is that they've perhaps been following what really amounts to a little bit of a show.
Yeah, absolutely. So my district is Southlake, Grapevine, Keller, and Keller in particular, but also Grapevine, Colleyville, ISD. There's been a lot of drama in those school districts. People move to that area, to HT 98, because of the schools, and they are not in favor of this voucher scam.
Right.
And they know how it's going to detract and harm our school districts. I mean, we've already seen, like a lot of areas, closing of some elementary schools and some middle schools. So So they want to protect the investment for their kids and for our future of Texas, our children, but they also want to protect their financial investment, their homes. So that, that's a huge thing. And I will say that Texas has plenty of money. It's just how we allocate our budget. Where are our priorities? And Greg Abbott and my opponent's scheme of no property tax, that's just not going to fly.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Yes, we can hold property taxes down, but the way we do that is by creating new tax revenue.
Right.
And if you'll give me a minute.
Sure.
What I'm proposing is that we do create that new tax revenue, which means decriminalization of cannabis.
All right.
And
I like it.
and legalization of gaming.
Yeah.
Why in the world is Texas sending billions of dollars across the borders for both of those things, and the nanny state says no, you can't do those things.
Right.
So those two new revenue streams, and I'm a former CEO, so that's how I think.
Yeah.
We can't just cut because we've seen the results of that in our schools.
Yep.
and social safety net.
Yep.
We need new revenue.
Absolutely. So give us your final closing pitch here. Talk to the folks back home. Why do they need to make sure and get down to your part of the ballot, of course? People are excited about showing up for James Tallarico, perhaps, but why do they need to go all the way down the ballot to your race in particular?
All right. Well, thank you, Chris. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely.
So why do you need to vote for Cate Brennan? Cate for 98. Go to Brennan for HD98.com, and here's why. I'm going to fight for you and your kids in our public schools. I'm going to make sure that we do not fund vouchers. I'm going to make sure, with my background in healthcare, that we have community-based healthcare. We bring down the cost of healthcare, but more importantly, we bring down the cost of health insurance, car insurance, and we make life more affordable and livable for everyone in House District 98. So thanks a lot. Vote for Cate for 98.
And it's Cate with a C, by the way.
It is Cate with a C.
Which is important.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Corpus Christi, Texas, the Texas Democratic Convention for 2026. We have met so many awesome people. We continue meeting awesome people. Next up is Don Richardson, who is running for the State House. Bell County, Texas. Can I tell you a quick story about Bell County, Texas?
Please do.
I'm from Austin. I live in Austin. Mm-hmm. When the vaccines came out in the COVID pandemic, couldn't find a shot anywhere near Austin. I managed to get a shot in Bell County.
All right.
And I had both my first rounds, and it was like getting out of jail.
Amen.
It was wonderful. And so every time I drive through Bell County on my way anywhere, I'm like, I have a soft spot in my heart for that place. Very good.
All right.
Talk about your experience with Bell County, why you're running for office.
Well, first of all, I'm an Air Force brat and an Army wife, so I met and married my husband in Hawaii, and we moved to Bell County.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons we stayed is because of the diversity that's there. I wanted my children to see everybody grow up together, work together, not being judged by what they look like or where they come from. Mm-hmm. Fun fact, you will not find a segregated neighborhood in our area.
Yeah.
You have the poor neighborhoods, you have the upper middle class neighborhoods, but they're all integrated, and that's wonderful.
Very, very good.
Yes.
How has Bell County changed? The kind of all the way up and down the I-35 corridor has been a lot of new people, a lot of expansion of not only residents but businesses, and it's just a bigger place than it used to be.
Oh yes.
What do you see happening politically there in terms of what people want out of their representatives in Austin?
Good question. When I first got there, it was pretty conservative.
Yeah.
It was also pretty rural. Fun fact, when I got there were only 2 high schools.
Right.
8 middle schools, almost 10, and then about 20 elementaries. We now have 6 high schools.
Yep.
We have almost 20 middle schools, and God knows how about 30 elementary. We have over 52 schools.
Yeah, wow.
Sites. So
That's
we
expansion.
have seen it grow exponentially. In fact, where I lived was considered rural.
Mm-hmm.
There were only my house and 7 others in 2.5 miles of each other.
Yeah.
We now have 60 houses out there, so it is growing exponentially.
Yeah.
It's the growth has changed, but also the politics have.
Yeah.
So what used to be a very conservative area is now more a diverse thought, politically, I'd say just in general, more welcoming of different ideas. People are not hostile to each other when it comes to ideas, so it's good. It's good.
Well, I noticed that you go straight to education when you talk about the growth out there, and if you find yourself in Austin, you're going to have a lot of control over a situation that has gotten out of control in terms of the way our public schools are treated in this state.
Yes.
Tell us how you would approach public education should you find yourself in the House.
Yes, sir. As a 39-year public educator myself, well, I've taught in public and private, and I'm a private school product myself, so I can see it from all sides.
Yes.
The state constitution here guarantees a public education.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we need to make sure that we're shoring up that public education. My opponent is the author of the voucher bill, so right there puts us on two diametrically opposed points of view.
That's a little bit different.
A little bit different, you know. And so it's like, and I've had that discussion with this person myself. We have to shore up our public school system. That is the one that is constitutionally guaranteed.
Right.
We should not be taking money away from the public school system. And I know they'll tell you that the vouchers don't, but they do, because we're not funded by enrollment. We're funded by attendance.
That's right.
So every time a kid leaves our system, we lose money.
That's right.
And folks have to see and understand that. That should not be the case. We're already 4,000 below the national average.
Yep.
So we have to bring that up.
Yep,
we have
absolutely.
to bring that up.
Absolutely. What else? Maybe one other issue that's important to you that you want your voters back home to know about.
Rights in general. Voters, they need their rights protected. No one should be manipulating voter rolls or trying to screen you out for whatever. You have a birth certificate in this country. You should be able to vote.
Absolutely.
Women and their rights. You know, no one should be telling a woman what she can do with her body. We don't have We don't have any laws regulating men. Why do we have laws regulating women?
That's very true.
Okay, she's a human being. She's alive, and she should be able to. Her and her doctor should be able to. You know, and then that's between her and her God. You know what I mean? That should be left alone. So we have to get that. Just rights and protected. Our veterans too.
Yep.
You know, they're messing with their benefits and their rights. It seems to be we're trying to control more. You know, supposedly in the land of the free, right?
Yeah.
Then we need to be. You know, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness really needs to be respected.
Love all of that. Love all of that. Is this your first time running?
This is my second time.
Second time. What did you learn from your first run that you've done differently in this second time?
Well, in my area, it's name recognition a lot. You know, and you know, because of the way my district, because we're in a severely gerrymandered district.
Yes.
Okay, so we actually have a district inside of a district. I'm the outside. So it's very hard for me to get to the outside because that is mostly rural.
Yeah.
And you cannot block walk out there.
Yeah.
So getting that message out to people that I'm here for you, because like something that's facing them is affordable and accessible health care. You know, with not expanding Medicaid, many of our rural hospitals and clinics are closing.
Yeah.
That should not be the case. They should have access. This voucher bill is going to hit them very hard because, again, if they lose even a couple of students from talking to some of the superintendents out there, that's a lot of money to them.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I know a superintendent who's not only the superintendent of the schools, but he's also with the transportation. He actually drives buses sometimes.
Yeah, wow.
So we have to make sure that our rural neighbors are taken care of, and that's a big deal for me.
Absolutely.
So we have to, but getting the message to them.
Yep.
But I think I'm getting there. I think I'm getting there.
I'm so glad.
I'm running into people now who seem to know me and talk to me even from those areas. So it's like, yay.
Well, we sure like the message, and we hope you continue to have luck to get that message out.
And I thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Don Richardson running for the House, Texas House, out of Bell County. Great to meet you.
Thank you, because Texas deserves better.
Absolutely.
It deserves a new dawn.
Oh, I love it. That's so cool. Excellent. Texas Democratic Party Convention 2026, Corpus Christi, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Meeting all kinds of cool people.
All kinds.
And we are honored to especially bring in people. We've talked about this, Tarrant County, Fort Worth area, very much the bellwether of the state, as they talk about. We've said it a few times now that, as Fort Worth goes, so goes Texas. Tarrant County too, and Tarrant County is one part of the district that Dione Sims is running for Congress in. Welcome and good to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Very, very cool. So tell us about, so again, the district is partially urban, but also goes way out into the countryside. Talk about the district and how you're approaching it.
So when they gerrymandered 25 and they blocked and cracked 33, and they put Tarrant County to the west along with Parker, Johnson, Somerville, Callahan, Palo Pinto, Erath, Hood, Jack, and Young counties.
Yeah.
What they did was they tried to, I think, disenfranchise the rural voters, thinking that the urban was going to get all of the focus.
Right.
And then silencing the voice of the urban because 25 traditionally had been red and rural.
Right.
So again, trying to pit the people against each other.
Yep.
And I think what folks need to really understand is we all bleed red blood.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we all have the same issues.
Mm-hmm.
We all need health care. We all need good jobs. We all need fair and equitable policies. And so it's not about our differences. It's about our unique and our, things that make us similar.
That's right.
And so that's how I'm approaching winning and running it to represent both sides of the coin, but it's the same coin.
Right.
It's humanity, it's Texas, it's families and working families.
Very, very good. You're talking about unity, and unity is something that has been a topic, coming into this convention. I look around, I see really nothing but unity going on around here, so I don't see it as a problem. You tell me, though, from your perspective, is unity an issue that you think the Democratic Party faces? If so, what's the nature of that, and how do we really, really get unified moving towards November?
Well, I've been working for Unity. Matter of fact, the nonprofit that I started in 2000 is called Unity Unlimited.
Okay.
And I have been working.
Did not know that. Yeah, I'm talking to the right person.
You're talking to the right person. So I have been working on programming and resources that bring people together so that we don't get desensitized to the fact that it takes all of us working together to reach the goal and to better the lives of folks wherever they are. And so in working as a community organizer to bring people together so that we can have real conversations, and then you add on top of that the work that I've done with my grandmother, Dr. Rable, for Juneteenth to be the unifier.
See, I was going to bring that up. You brought it up for me. Let me stop you there for a second. That is remarkable. You are the granddaughter of
the grandmother of Juneteenth.
Right. The granddaughter of the grandmother of Juneteenth is standing right here with us. We're talking about Miss Opal, Dr. Opal. And how is she? She's about to turn 100.
She's about to turn 100. This is her 100th year.
Yeah.
And so she's doing well. And when we think about celebrating life and all of the accomplishments of not just being the celebrity of Juneteenth, but the humanity, the humanitarian. And that's where we get it from. She talks about it being our DNA because we have always done whatever was needed to help people. And I think that's what we've got to bring all of this politics back to is the people.
Right.
But doing it together, not one person saying, well, this is the plan, and another person, no, I've got the plan, but coming together on common ground. To say what we can do together because we're stronger together. And in recognizing the diversity, is what brings us closer to the idea of that perfect union.
Wow.
And so that's one of the reasons why I'm running and who legacy I'm standing upon.
Very, very good. So well said. It's almost as though you've got a family tie to this sort of work. It's kind of wild.
It's been in our, family heritage, to help people, to bring people together, to not divide.
Yes, ma'am.
Because, one of the things when my grandmother's house was burned down and destroyed on Juneteenth, 1939, that could have sowed a seed that would have had her hating people.
Absolutely.
But instead, just because of the genetics that we have to help people, it didn't get a chance to sow. And she passed that down to us. And just in the nature of making sure that everybody's taken care of in your community and making sure now on a grander stage that the nation's taken care of.
Right.
And the people have a sense of thriving instead of just barely surviving is one of the things that kind of drives what we're doing.
As we wrap up here, a quick message to the folks back in the district, how they can find out more about you and what you want them to know about you.
So what I really want them to know is that I'm running to represent you, represent your voice, to give you access to the resources that will help your life be better. So it's accessibility, affordability, and then knowing that I am going to hold our executive branch accountable.
Hey,
accountability.
I like it.
Because what their Constitution put together was for the legislative branch to be that check and balance, and they're not doing it right now. And so I want them to go to DionSimsForCongress.com to volunteer, to donate, because we do need your finances, but we need your hands to touch others in your community to let them know that there's a change coming, the wave is coming, and let's ride this all the way to bring our country back from the brink.
All right, Dione Sims, it's terrific to meet you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, once again, it's the Texas Democratic Party Convention, Corpus Christi, Texas. We're meeting lots of folks. We're meeting folks that we've heard great things about, and for the first time I've had you on, I'm pretty sure. Have you been on with us before?
I've been at the Daily Dispatch with Tatum and Haley.
Okay. Well, so Julio Salinas is with us, State House candidate out of McAllen. It's great to have you. Tell us about what your experience has been here in Corpus Christi outside of sweating along with the rest of us.
Well, I'm actually from the Valley, so you know what this is. It's actually worse over there, so I'm very much acclimated.
Okay, very good.
The environment and the actual energy here in the convention has been electric.
Yeah.
It has really shown us that a lot of people are really prepared for a new change, a new vision, a new sort of system of government that it works for the people, works for working class people.
Right. You come from a part of the state that is very, very pivotal.
That's right.
And has been very, very volatile over recent times.
Absolutely.
Tell us about, we're hearing about people having changed their minds for the last big election in 24, maybe changing their minds back this time. How does all that work in your experience there in your community in McAllen? What are you seeing on the ground?
So the Rio Grande Valley is seen as like the battleground area that the governor has been putting millions upon millions of dollars to flipping. That's a historically Democratic area that he believes that he can change Hispanic voters to believe in what the message that the Republicans are talking about.
Yeah.
And he's trying to sell them on that issue. And to a very large extent, they've been very successful because we have not been able to have the right conversations and the right message. But I think people are waking up to the fact that Democrats have been showing up for a better economy, for a better system of government. And what I'm seeing is the energy over there. Look, downtown McAllen and downtown Mission, Farr, Edinburgh, all of these areas that I represent have been empty zones where they used to be bustling. The downtown areas used to be bustling with people, and now these places are empty. The economy that was driven off of the tourism, off of Mexican immigrants or Mexican tourists coming down here to invest their dollars down here in McAllen,
Sure.
It's gone, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that
economy that was driven on tourism is now an economy that's driven on fear. And we're seeing that with the immigration raids. We're seeing that with the cruel immigration policy and the buoys and the wall and all of these systems. And then at the end of the day, being involved in a war that we don't want to be involved, that we should not be involved in, that's raising our gas prices.
Right.
And that is really the people are waking up to that fact. And we're seeing that every single day in the Rio Grande Valley and the conversations I've been having with people over there.
Right. People don't seem to realize, I think, and it actually still surprises me when I think about how tight the margin is in the Texas House. It's not some kind of gigantic supermajority. They have control and they exert control as though they have a supermajority, but it's pretty close. Give us an idea for the average Texan, especially those who are in your district, but really for the entire state. Sure. Once you're in there, how do things change once there's a greater degree of Democratic influence in the Texas House? Dare I say even possibly a Democratic majority?
Right. There's so much at stake here in this election. The State House is probably the most important thing for making sure that redistricting doesn't happen at a gerrymandering level that they're going to try to put when we get there in 2032. We're gonna be seeing redistricting and the census, and we're gonna be seeing them mess around with those maps again.
Yep.
And we're likely to gain 4 congressional seats, 4 electoral votes in the next census. So there's a lot at stake in terms of that, in terms of representation on the congressional level.
Yep.
And the best way to support making sure that we get those seats is by supporting state house candidates and the governorship as well.
Yep.
With Gina Hinojosa to make sure that we can actually have better systems, right? So we are looking at that. That's at stake right now. Those 14 legislators that can possibly flip in this cycle, I'm extremely excited. And my seat is probably the most competitive defense seat.
Right.
It is currently held by a Democrat, Bobby Guerra.
Right.
He is retiring now, so it is an open seat.
Right.
And we are looking at that being the most competitive open Democratic seat to taking this whole thing. So we're in really good shape. We're really making a big difference, and we're going to continue on from there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really exciting. But also what's at stake here has also been, education, healthcare, and infrastructure. In the Rio Grande Valley specifically, we are looking at one of the fastest growing regions in the entire country.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably going to double in size of population in the next few years. We are not prepared infrastructure-wise with our water infrastructure, our roads,
Yep.
our general schools, anything like that for that growth. So my goal in the next legislative session is to make sure that growth comes and that we're prepared for it.
Right. I have not spent a whole lot of time in Corpus Christi in my day, so like over this weekend is the most time I've spent here, and running around the community and seeing the city and going to the store and going to the restaurants and going and checking this place out. Everywhere, to me, it seems like maybe it's just in my own head, but I think about the water problem everywhere I look.
Absolutely.
In Corpus, and I feel like it's something that's clearly on everybody's minds. South Texas also is not in a real secure position with that as well.
No.
So I think you're right. Having some good stewardship going on in Austin at the Capitol is going to be very, very important as we move into this next phase.
Right. We're looking at this being the goal is the rapid modernization of the Rio Grande Valley's infrastructure.
Yeah.
And that does take into account water.
Yeah.
So we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we can make a big difference in that regard.
Absolutely. Water for the people before
water for the people. Water is life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that we don't have water accessible to people here in Corpus Christi and future in the Rio Grande Valley, that is a travesty.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in a region that has one of the largest flowing rivers.
Yeah.
But somehow we can't use that kind of water.
It's a bizarre situation. So I hope you managed to get in there and make some difference. We appreciate it.
We're going to make a difference together, Chris.
Awesome. Very good. Julio Salinas running for the Texas House out of McAllen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. District 41.
Oh, it's a father and son jam.
That's cool. Hey, man.
How's it going?
What's going on? How are you?
Good to see you.
All right, this is fun. Okay, back. Texas Democratic Party Convention 2026. A couple of things that are a first for me ever in my career of doing this is interviewing a father and son who are both running for elected office at the same time. That is really, really cool. We have Justin Early here running for Congress. Hello.
How you doing, sir? Justin Early running for District 31.
Absolutely. And over here is his son, Matthias Early.
Early. Yes.
Matthias, it appears, from what I hear, is the youngest candidate in the whole place.
Yes, I am.
Is it?
I'll say 21 is the minimum age you have to be to run for state house.
Yep.
And I am 21 years old.
You barely made it.
Yeah.
That is so cool. How does a family get this tied into public service to the degree where there's a multi-generational effort happening at the same time within one family?
That's a great question. And to start off, you don't realize that you're raising leaders until you're asked to do something like that.
Yeah.
And so my father is a very, he's a very political, active person. He is very knowledgeable what's going on, and he passed that to me. And then when I was raising my children, it was just conversations we had all the time.
Yeah.
And then what happened in this cycle, in this round, we saw there was an opportunity to actually go against a 13-term incumbent. And so now that I'm starting that, we also saw the same thing. He saw the same thing in his district and said, you know what, we can actually have the energy from not only the House seat, federal House seat, but also the state House seat as well.
Right. Is this something you guys are doing actively campaigning together and kind of pooling your resources, or has it been two separate operations, or how's that working?
Two separate operations, but we are father and son, so there's definitely, I know what he's doing, he knows what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And because there's so much overlap in the districts, a lot of times if there's something we need to do, we'll go together.
Very, very good. That's great. Talk about the recurring question throughout this convention has been about unity in the party. We saw the opposing party a couple of weeks ago in Houston not necessarily do such a great job on that front. There have been questions about unity coming into this convention and how that would look coming out of the convention. What are you guys seeing in terms of anything that needs to be done, anything that needs to be addressed? Let us know what you see.
So for me, the party has an opportunity this round. We have been handed, the Republican Party has done an awful job in everything.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I think we only have 4 months until the election, so we need to stand together. Regardless of our policies, we need to just elect a Democrat.
Yeah, absolutely. Back over to Justin. Let's talk about, the other really overarching thing is affordability. That's what people are mostly really, really worried about and what's really impacting people's lives. You guys have an interesting situation here because you're a dad, running a household. You're a young person facing a tough job market. There are differences in the way affordability impacts people depending on their obligations, depending on their experience and their age. Talk about that from Dad's perspective.
Yeah. So first and foremost, this is my youngest of 7 children.
Wow.
So of my children, I see the differing and varying degrees of success in capitalism.
Sure.
And I have a daughter who has earned the exact same pay for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And as, prices get more and more higher and higher, she's actually lost a quarter of her buying power in that same 10 years.
That's right.
But then I also have a son who is very politically active, who wants to run. And, politics is not something you can do part-time. You have to completely do and give to this effort, right? It's a labor of love. And so without having the ability to do that, he wouldn't have the ability to actually run out there and give his voice out there unless he was being supported.
Right.
And so I think it's very important that the young people actually have a voice.
Sure.
And so from an affordability standpoint, I'm blessed, but I know that, as we continue the slide at, what's happening today with this bubble gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And so I want to make sure we have policies in place to protect everybody so that not only my daughter has the ability to actually get a decent paycheck and get the money that she's deserved, but also people like my son can actually run for politics to make a difference.
Right on. Matthias, give us your perspective as a younger person on a lot of people graduating from college, and it's a scary moment. It should be a moment of enthusiasm and hopes and dreams and all that. At this point, people graduating from college are facing a really, really tough row. Talk about that from your perspective.
So that's the biggest thing that young people, I'd say my age, worry about, is where are our careers going to be in 5 to 10 years?
Yeah.
Especially with the advancement of AI, technology, at the rate it's moving. These data centers aren't just affecting communities, they're being designed to take people's jobs. And whenever the bubble for people who have 10, 15 years of experience, they can move down in their careers. But then that pushes out the people who are trying to rise up.
Right.
And that's the voice I want to be, is whatever happens with AI, whatever happens with the job economy, we need to make sure that people's livelihoods are protected and that they have the ability to survive. Very
good. Justin, give us your closing pitch to the voters in the district.
Yeah, closing pitch is this, right? So if you make over $1 billion, you probably don't want to vote for me. But other than that, I'm trying to put more money back in your pocket. I'm trying to make sure healthcare is affordable and accessible for everybody. I want to make sure housing is actually grown and done well within the district. Colleen is a big part of our districts, and I'm a veteran. There's a lot of veterans in that area. So I want to make sure our VA hospitals are strengthened and provided for, but also make sure the benefits that those soldiers have earned are continually given to them. And you can find more about me at votejustinoearly.com.
Very good. Thank you. And bring us home, Matthias.
We have a million issues in this country. And my goal, the reason why I studied political science, was because I wanted to learn more about democracy and how we can move our democracy forward. Most people in this country say it's not working for them. They're not feeling represented. So how can we make sure that people are being represented at every level? And until we fix that issue, we won't be able to fill the affordability crisis. We won't be able to fix climate change. We won't be able to fix education system. We have to make sure that our democracy is strong, and then we can move forward.
Very, very good. Matthias Early, Justin Early, inspiring that you guys are doing this as a family unit. It's real, real cool. We're really glad to know you guys and to meet you.
Thank you.
All right, Texas Democratic Convention 2026. We're continuing our long queue of interviews. It's been great to see so many people. Some are new. Others we know from prior experience. Kyle Rable is one of those people running for Congress out of Lubbock, Texas.
Yes, sir. Right there, CD19.
Some people know that I'm from there originally. I lived in Lubbock until I was 22 when I moved to Austin in the early 90s.
It's okay to do the wrong thing.
Well, I don't regret the decision, honestly. But clearly Lubbock is close to my heart. I try to pay attention to what's going down there. There is so much to talk about. We don't have time to talk about all the stuff that's going on in Lubbock that we're concerned about, for sure. But let's talk about your basic vision for why a traditionally and notoriously conservative city as Lubbock is needs to go with the Democrat this time.
Yeah, it's super simple. Is that out there in Lubbock, we've grown past where we think we are. We have almost 300,000 people in that one county of the 33 that I have in that district. And there's so much potential in Lubbock and all of West Texas, but it's being suppressed because we keep voting for the same people over 40 years and they just choose the next person. So I think it's time just to see what we can do better. And I know I can do better because I know how the working class works because I am one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. We were actually talking earlier about us big city folks kind of tend to think of Lubbock as a rural place. Mm-hmm. Lubbock is not a rural place. Lubbock is a city of over 250,000 people now and a county of even more than that. Mm-hmm. Talk about that distinction, how you think voters in Lubbock should view themselves through that lens.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about because if Lubbock was plopped in Virginia, it would be something that a president would stop
at. It'd be a major city.
Yeah. But in Texas, because we have Dallas, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, and it's so far away, it's not seen like that. But Lubbock has so many people in it, and it's grown past where we thought it would be at. It's surrounded by rural. Yeah. It is completely part of that identity, but we're the capstone on it, and that means that we need to start thinking about what we mean for the district. We can have more if we start thinking of our identity as a city and a town more than just cotton fields, because there's not a cotton field inside the city.
Yeah, that's true. So the one of the big stories that I've been following in Lubbock is what's happened at Texas Tech. And no, I'm not talking about the quarterback situation. Brandon Creighton, who was a state senator with no ties to Lubbock that I can think of in particular, ended up being in charge there at Texas Tech. There has been layer upon layer of academic infringement that's gone on at Texas Tech during that time. And that comes from, I think the thing to understand is this kind of thing happens with a one-party regime. This is the kind of thing that happens when one party's in control for too long. They lose track of actually taking care of actual real business and being fair about things, and they just do whatever they want to do. And Texas Tech, I think, to me, is seeing the end result of that overall system. Tell me your views on that.
Yeah, so I'm also a PhD student at Tech, so this directly impacts me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I study history there, so it directly impacts me because now I don't know what I'm allowed to research, what I'm allowed to teach, write, whatever, and a lot of my people around me are feeling the same way. And so it's not really about what we're teaching. It's you can't tell me what to teach. It's that the job is to teach people. And so we take Brandon Creighton, who we plopped out. He's a UT grad, has no connections to us. He's getting paid to do this because Abbott owed him a favor.
Do people understand that he's a Longhorn?
Yes. Oh, yes. And I've made sure to say that, and I've said it to his face before. I told him to go back to South Texas or go back to UT.
Wait a minute. The term actually is T-SIP, I'm pretty sure is what they call it. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a T-SIP, everybody in Lubbock. Red Raiders. Come on, man. Come on. So how's the campaign going? You've been doing this a while.
Yep.
You didn't have a primary challenger, did you?
No, I did not have a primary challenge. I actually launched, and it's one of my favorite things to joke with Representative Goodwin about. I actually launched a week before her.
Yeah.
So it's been over a year that I've been running.
Doing it forever.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So just add a week or so to what she has been going, and I've been doing it, and it's been amazing to see. I mean, it's exhausting. I have a 1-year-old son, and my wife's pregnant with our second, so we're pretty tired.
Yeah.
But it's been amazing to see the changes and the conversations and growing something in Lubbock, in West Texas, Abilene, Big Spring, that just hasn't existed in a decade or more, and seeing people kind of turn out and be excited. And it doesn't hurt that we have amazing up-ballot candidates and amazing down-ballot candidates for me that just make it so much more fun.
Yeah. It's an excitement. It's an exciting overall scenario for sure. The fact of the matter is, Lubbock is full of people who have never dreamed of voting for a Democrat. Mm-hmm. as we shut down, talk to those people and tell them why they need to.
Yeah, it's simply just time for you to stop lining the pockets of millionaires and billionaires. That's all that's happened out of West Texas. They have taken our money as Republicans and given it to Republicans in Dallas, Austin, and Houston to try to flip those seats. Instead, we should be spending money in West Texas. They should be made to care about you, and that's what I want to happen. I think that it's time that you vote for someone that actually wants to live in West Texas, that cares about West Texas, and knows what you all are living, because I live it every day.
Fellow Flatlander, congressional candidate Kyle Rable. So good to see you always.
Good to see you too. Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Texas Democratic Convention continues 2026. It's mostly been candidate types. It's mostly been office holders, people running for office and whatnot. We occasionally get to talk to someone who is in the process, much as we are, of getting to know these people and promoting these people and amplifying these people, and in a lot of cases, watching out for what these people do after they win elections, possibly. We're talking to Nancy Thompson here, Mothers Against Greg Abbott, which is great to have you here. What's the current, so the organization has morphed and changed over time. Tell us about the current state of what you guys are doing.
Well, currently we still are Mothers Against Greg Abbott,
right.
But we are actually transitioning as soon as we get rid of Greg Abbott, hopefully, transitioning to Mothers for Democracy.
Mothers for Democracy. That was the name that was missing from my head. Absolutely. You guys are set up in here. Folks coming up to your booth, what are they asking about? What are they talking about?
Well, first of all, we have really great swag. So they're buying really awesome merch. They want yard signs. And then they're talking about these really cool baseball cards that we have for candidates and buying baseball cards, basically.
And it's for all of the Democrats, all of the nominees?
Yep. Everybody who is a candidate who's a Democrat running statewide for either Texas House, Texas Senate, a statewide office, Congressional, they can have a trading card made for them.
Right on. Very cool.
And we design all of them, and we interview them, and we put in all the information.
They've been circulating around. We've been seeing them. They're very cool. So I think the first time that we hung out at a convention situation was when it was in El Paso 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. That wasn't your first convention, was it?
No, the first one that I went to was in Dallas.
Okay.
This is my third convention.
Okay, yeah. So you're like a grizzled veteran now.
Practically, yeah.
Well, El Paso was my first one, so I still feel like a little bit of a newcomer.
Yeah.
So talk about the convention itself. How's the experience been? You know, I find myself obviously comparing it to the El Paso experience, which there are some parallels. What do you think of the 26 version?
I really have enjoyed this convention. I think the convention hall is really roomy. There's lots of options. There's lots of meeting rooms.
Yep.
And best of all, we are sitting here in the expo space with like nearly 70 different vendors, and we could barely even fit like 13 in El Paso.
Right.
So we're here with lots of people. It's been really busy and really fun, and it's great to see so many vendors show up and help sponsor this convention.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been asking everybody kind of the topic coming into the convention was unity. People talking about how unified will the Democrats be. We got a really good example of how ununified the Republicans are in their convention a couple weeks ago in Houston. You know, if there's a direct opposite of unity is pretty much what we saw there. What are you thinking about the way that the party is, how it's coalescing into a unified force coming out of here and heading towards November? Talk about unity as the way you see it from this experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have to work together, for one, and we have to go out there and just start knocking on doors. This is not going to be an election that we can win by sitting on the couch. It's going to be one that we can win by knocking on doors, listening to voters, and asking them for their vote.
Right.
So, I mean, the only way, I don't know. I don't know if I'd necessarily like the word unity, but right now I do like the word community.
Okay, sure.
Because right now what we need to do is build community, because in order to win across Texas, we have to recreate community, because we have the Republican Party that has been tearing up our communities for 30 years.
Sure.
So it's really rebuilding our communities.
I like it. Very good. Anything else that you're thinking about between here and November? Like what are the primary themes? what's
absolutely. I love primary themes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that water is going to turn out to be one of the top issues across Texas.
Oh, yeah.
So that is one. The affordability, and affordability covers everything from minimum wage, being able to afford groceries, all the way to health care, because we've seen Donald Trump and his policies erode basic affordability. Yep. Across Texas. I mean, it's a lot more than tariffs. It's, gas. There's so many different things that he's affected.
It's a generalized problem.
Made life really more expensive for most of us. So we're going to see affordability definitely be top. And then the last one is probably going to be, because I think healthcare is part of affordability. So the last one is probably really going to be education. Yeah. Because we see something in Texas right now that we haven't really seen in like 15 years or ever, actually. We are seeing, when Greg Abbott took office, there were 0 ISDs that were having a 4-day week. And right now, there's over 100 ISDs across Texas that have a 4-day week.
Right, that's not good.
And that is not good.
Yeah.
So we're seeing our schools closing down. We should be doing good things for all Texans.
Right.
And it's time to show Texans that government can work for them.
Very, very good. You're like the sage. You're like the you're like the political almost soul of this place a little bit in a way. I would love hearing you talk about things like that. Very clear expression. We really appreciate your viewpoint.
Well, thank you. That's so nice of you to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nancy Thompson, Mothers Against Greg Abbott, Mothers for Democracy. And that branding is ongoing and in transition.
Yeah, we're in transition.
Right on. Very good. It's great to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you for inviting me.
All right. Texas Democratic Party Convention 2026, Corpus Christi, Texas. We are back at it here. We think a lot about Fort Worth. We think a lot about Tarrant County. That is clearly what they call the bellwether part of the state. As Fort Worth goes, as Tarrant County goes, so goes the rest of the state. And as the rest of the state goes, so goes the country. So it's very, very, very important. We've seen lots of scenes of shall we say, conflict that have happened within the Commissioner's Court in Tarrant County for a variety of reasons. And we're here with Nydia Cardenas. Did I get that right?
You did. You did great.
Nydia. Such a cool name. Tell us, you're running for that same Commissioner's Court. We're familiar with Commissioner Simmons, who we've had on the air quite a bit. Tell us about you. Tell us about your run and what it means.
Yeah, well, thank you, Chris, for knowing how important Tarrant County is.
Yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
that. And also want to shout out Commissioner Simmons because she's one of the reasons that I'm running. Seeing her leadership up there and also seeing how much she's fighting for our community and that she needs support, that we need to get people up there who have the same agenda that she wants to see, to stop the deaths in our county jail, to improve our healthcare access in our community, to make sure, as Tarrant County is growing very quickly, that we make sure that people can afford to stay, like our working families are supported and can afford to stay. So So I'm running for County Commissioner Precinct 4, so that's Northwest Tarrant County.
Yep.
And part of the reason, I spent the campaign is sort of an extension of the organizing work that I'd been doing with other community members, right? We're going to Commissioner's Court, we're doing the work of getting over 100 people to show up, and then to the court, it's like if one person showed up, right? They just don't listen. I say we have a listening crisis in our government.
Right,
because they keep trying to reduce our public comment. And so all of those things that, enough rage and desperation, and you're sort of like, you know what, we need to replace those people. I'm going to do it.
Talk about that entire scene. So clearly, Ms. Simmons is running against Tim O'Hare, looking to replace him. You're looking to take care of the seat that you're running for. What would be the change? What would be the tangible change on the Commissioner's Court with a heavier Democratic presence? Tell us about that. How it affects people.
Yeah, well, and I think if you remove the hostility of the court, even the culture of the county. So, just speaking about, I think of the county as like having these complex systems they're in charge of, right? They're in charge of our public health system, administering our elections, roads and bridges, property taxes, and our jail and the court system and our county jail and sheriff's office. So these are each their own complex system, and it's people who have to implement these systems. And right now, the culture is very toxic. Like I get messages from people who work at the county who say, "I support you, but I could never say this publicly, or else I would be I actually met somebody recently who was taken off of one job and placed somewhere else through a punitive action, right?
Yeah.
So you've got this toxicity at the county level that needs to change. That I think that my background is actually in leadership development, organizational development. So I think I can actually help support a culture that makes our systems more excellent, right? That people can do a good job, and that we're listening to experts versus doing our personal agenda, right? Like it's not the commissioner's job to become an expert on everything. It's to support the people who know what they're doing and be a good thought partner and a resource. So I think when you start in complex systems, that's the first step.
Yep.
Make sure the people who are implementing it can do a good job, right? And then I think on a tangible level, again, healthcare I think is becoming more and more of a crunch at a federal level, and we keep weakening our local system. Every year they've cut the budget of our JPS, which is our county hospital. I don't even think our director of public health believes in public health.
Wow.
So that's a problem that will immediately help help people. Just thinking about how do we create innovative solutions at the local level, like relocalized healthcare. I think that's a way to disrupt, because people can't afford to bury their loved ones or fight to stay alive. You see all these every day. I see so many crowdfunding campaigns for these kind of things, and I just feel like we should not live in a world that's like that.
Yeah,
and I think by reinforcing our healthcare system, we'll be able to address that. And I think the property tax is the development piece. So Northwest Tarrant County is one of the economic engines of the county. So we're seeing so much change happen there, and it's crunching our communities, our historic communities. People are getting priced out because of property taxes. And some of it is pushing back on the state, because right now our current Commissioner's Court Republican majority, they're just, executing whatever Abbott's agenda is.
Yes.
Right? And Abbott is not thinking about working families, which is also why we need to elect Jeannie Hinojosa.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, so we had, the rock stars at the top of the ballot. We've been asking everybody this. Tallarico, clearly, big draw. Gina, Vikki on down the line. Your race is lower on the ballot. Talk about the importance of continuing all the way down to the bottom of the ballot instead of just showing up, voting at the top, and being done with it. Some people do that, which is amazing to me because I enjoy so much every single click on a ballot myself personally. But talk about that, the joy of voting, the joy of clicking D. There in the ballot box.
I love this, the joy of voting. Yes. So we actually just did a thank you tour in canvassing where we went to talk to people who were first-time voters in March. And this isn't like an 18-year-old. These are like 40-year-olds who are voting for the first time, right? And as you said, people are angry and they're riled up, but they went to focus on the top of the ticket. So our job now is to make sure people understand, again, what does Commissioner's Court do? How does it impact your life? And how do we make sure people get that? Because the local is what impacts us the most on a day-to-day basis, right?
Sure.
And it's how we can actually create solutions that can then address some of these big problems that at the federal level are very hard to fix right now. But we could actually do things at the local level. So that's kind of what I talk to people about, make sure they understand how important that local government impacts like our day to day. And I think when you talk to people about it, they're like, oh, I had no idea. And you're right. That is important.
Yeah. So I married a Fort Worth girl.
Oh, yeah.
My in-laws live not far from TCU, so I spend a lot of I really love Fort Worth a lot.
They are in my precinct. Let them know to vote for me.
Very, very good. I sure will. Jeudy, make sure and vote. And she totally will. She's been out knocking doors for James Tallarico lately, so that's pretty awesome. Give us a little bit of perhaps from the Tourism Bureau. I love Tarrant County. I love Fort Worth. What is there about that place that people should know to come visit and come check it out? People who are not maybe super familiar with Fort Worth area.
Yeah, my friends joke that they're like, you should be a tour guide for Fort Worth, because I asked them, what kind of experience do you want to be curated? We have a great local theater scene, so like Amphibian Stage, Stage West Theater. So I think that's a really great thing that people do not know about us. Like, come and check out some of this local theater when you come. I think a lot of people know us for like the Stockyards, and you know that's a great thing. Make sure you visit when you come. But there's so much else. Like the Stockyards are adjacent to the historic North Side, which is this amazing, rich community with lots of history, delicious food and snacks. Aguas frescas. Like in my precinct, there's so much delicious food. So I think there's local theater that people don't know about.
I was going to bring up before you go on. Tommy's Hamburgers.
Tommy's Hamburgers.
Is something that I got to have pretty much every time
you come. No, we have a lot of great food. Our downtown now has like every weekend outdoor concerts and things going on. So it can be. We also have really great parks. Like we have the Botanic Gardens. We have Trinity Park.
That's
so
awesome.
if you're into outdoor things, we have Sampson Park in my precinct, which is a nice little hike. So I think making sure people know there's so much to Fort Worth that more than people realize. We also have a great coffee shop scene. So if you want to do a coffee shop crawl, I can give you all all the recommendations.
Give me a coffee shop shout out. What's a good one?
Oh, well, I love Portico Coffee, which is in my precinct.
Yeah.
It's a historic home that they renovated to turn into a coffee shop.
Mhm.
So you kind of feel like you're at your house, but you're not at your house, you know? And then Noble, who's the owner there, he makes really great syrups.
Oh,
so
wow.
always try the seasonal things that he has going on.
One more time.
Portico?
Portico Coffee.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
very good. Awesome. This has been terrific. It's
Yeah,
great to meet
thank you.
you.
Thanks, Chris.
Best of luck in your campaign.
Thank you.
Nydia, Cardenas.
That's right. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Right on.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
All right. It's a little crowded here in Corpus
Yeah, a
Christi.
little close.
Texas Democratic Convention for 2026. We have known Riley Rodriquez for a little while. With the first time we talked to you was during some focus of smaller town candidates.
Yeah.
And it also happens, it's kind of hard to believe the number of people that we've talked to over the course of the convention. You're the first state Senate candidate that I think I've talked to.
Really?
Yeah. Running for the Texas Senate.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your run.
Well, I got 40 counties to cover. It's 38,000 square miles.
Yep.
I'm running against Charles Perry, who's been over my district for 15 years.
Right.
In those 15 years, he's managed to have a poverty rate 2% higher than the rest of the state, and he managed to let about 5 data centers in one of the most sparsely watered places of the state.
Yeah, a big drain on that.
Oh,
on
yeah.
that resource.
We don't even have any water wells on one side of Taylor County, and we're getting about 4 of them.
Yeah, I just have no idea how that's going to even work, but they're coming for sure.
Yeah, well, it won't work.
It's a real threat. And data centers has definitely been on people's minds for sure, but more specifically, being here in Corpus Christi, water is a big deal. Once you drill down into that for the folks back home in your district, who everybody is worried about water now. It's clearly a bipartisan situation.
Absolutely.
Talk about the specific impacts in your area.
So the specific impacts in our area. So they're still building the one that we're at. They're going to have 51 towers out there, but right now they've only got a few running. We've already seen in our city budget that they're going to raise our water prices up.
Yep.
After telling us they didn't. But the immediate impacts we're feeling were rent, housing, and human trafficking.
Wow.
I-20 runs right through Abilene. It is a human trafficking corridor.
Sure.
When you drop 7,000 new workers in there, it's not just sex trafficking, but it's labor trafficking. We have families that are getting cramped because rent has gone up $2,000 to $3,000 on some places. Mm-hmm. I work with some people through the BCFS and social services, family services. She works with 1 to 5 year old toddlers and their parents. She has had to secure hotel rooms the day of because they're getting evicted for their housing prices going up.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk about our water and our energy, and there's a lot of focus on that. But while that focus is being had, people are struggling, and that is what pushed me to run, because I really like all the hopefully terminology, and maybe it'll work this, and if it works out, I don't work off ifs, ands, or buts.
Right.
There are people in my area suffering, and we need to take care of it, and not just because there's an election coming up.
Someone talking the way you talk would be a unique addition to the Texas Senate.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Absolutely, and so the impact would be enormous.
I would hope so.
So that's a very, very important thing. You come from a part of the state. I'm also from there. I'm from Lubbock originally, as we've talked about, where people just are conditioned to assume a lot of things about Democrats.
Yeah.
And to not vote for Democrats.
Right.
Talk to those people in particular about why it's time to start thinking differently from that.
I mean, quite honestly, they couldn't have left the lane more wide open for us. There's only one person that's running against data centers, and or one group that's running against data centers, and that's Democrats.
Yep.
How, I've always learned the lesson: you never get bit by the same dog twice. But what do you do for 30 years?
Yeah.
It's a lot of biting. How can you put faith in a group of people that only started caring about it 6 months ago?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you any other issue that I've seen Governor Abbott do a 180 on like he has data centers just recently.
Right. And I do want to point out something. He stole my policy position on sales tax exemption. You know how good progressive policy is? It's so good that Greg Abbott had to steal my idea. That's how good progressives are for Texas.
Yeah. I hear he's hanging around here, too. Did you hear about that?
He
apparently has been in town.
Well, I'd like him to take his ass back to the governor's, back to the legislature and get to work on these damn data centers.
Yeah, that would be nice.
It'd be cool if we had representatives that were more worried about representing the people than trolling constituents of theirs. I cannot, for the life of me, understand why it is we have representatives that take pride in oppressing and marginalizing and mocking their own constituents.
Yeah, it's amazing.
When I see people suffering on the street, when I see my neighbor's house burning, I don't go, look at him, he didn't get fire insurance, I get a damn water hose or something.
That's right. Yes, sir.
And that's not a representative to me. That's just an asshole.
Dare I say anti-Texan?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's un-Texan as it can possibly be.
Absolutely.
For sure. Okay, Riley, final pitch. Talk to the folks back home. Coming out of this convention, lots and lots of excitement, lots of positivity and confidence. How do folks get involved with your campaign, and how should folks be looking at this race as we head towards November?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, you can get involved by going to RallyForSenate.org.
Yep.
That's going to have all my donations, my volunteer page, all the information you need to know, and some of my policy points. What I would recommend, though, is if you cut Texas into 4 places, I'd have a whole quarter of it in my district. So I've got a wide scope for everybody to get involved. I go to rural places all the time. If you want to follow my social media, I make announcements on that. Please just show up. The best thing you can do for us, if you can't door knock, if you can't phone bank, in rural Texas, showing up brings the legitimacy. And I don't care who you are. If you're a progressive, you're a Republican, if you're independent, it doesn't matter.
Right.
What I'm fighting for right now is us. And the fact of the matter is, whether you got a blue tie or red tie, you're still broke. And I'm not interested in arguing about cultural politics while I'm standing on the bread lines. I would really like to have a house. I would really like to be able to afford that house. Yep. And I would like for the people that live around me to do that. And if you believe in that, and you believe in taking care of your neighbors and looking out for folks and not just for stockholders, please vote for me on November 3rd, 2026 for District 28.
Right on. Riley Rodriquez. It's always great. Rodriquez.
Yes.
Rodriquez.
I appreciate it.
I got to get that right.
I don't get mad about it. It's all good.
That's cool. All right.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Once again, back at the Texas Democratic Convention, continuing our conversations with very important folks who are running for office, making a difference in Texas. We have met Stefanie Board before.
Yeah.
Last time we saw you was in Houston at the Harris County Convention, which was a lot of fun. It's good to see you again.
It was a good time. Thank you.
What has happened with you since that time?
Oh, my goodness. I am so excited to report that I have a campaign manager.
Yay.
And she has been crushing it around the Houston area.
Do you want to give her name for fear of someone poaching her from you?
Well, no. I'll talk about it. Her name is Jordan Bowen.
Hi, Jordan.
And she worked the Cy-Fair ISD elections.
Yeah.
And then she also got the new Pearland mayor, Quentin, elected.
Okay, sure. Wow, that's cool.
So I'm like, hey, here we go. And she lives in my district. So, I am so excited to have her on board.
You're in good hands. That's terrific.
Yeah,
and that's so important. And we've talked to multiple candidates who are on their second or maybe even third runs who tried early on to do it all on their own and figured out that it's just too big a job to do.
That's what I was doing at the beginning, and it's too big a job.
Yeah. So I'm super glad to hear that you've gotten some help.
Yeah.
So what is what's the main push for you, for your constituents back there that you want to have them vote for you?
Oh,
What are they worried about right now?
Well, I'm a former public school teacher, and actually our public schools are the #1 employer in our district.
Okay, yeah.
So I want to make sure that they're getting funded appropriately. We can't have teachers struggling. They are not going to want to stay in the profession if they're not making a living.
Yep, for sure.
I know I felt that way when I was teaching. So
it's shameful, honestly.
Yeah.
On multiple levels. I was raised when I was a kid. The teacher was like someone that was so important in your life and was so important to your family, and was due a massive amount of respect. And that situation has just deteriorated for our teachers. It's shameful.
Yes.
It really, really is. And so it's going to take new leadership to reverse that trend for sure, which is a big reason that we're here. Right?
Yeah, we got to get Gina Hinojosa so we can get rid of Mike Morath.
Can you imagine? I mean, and that's, and we've said this before, Gina gets elected.
Yeah.
that whole TEA situation, first of all, stops in its tracks.
Yes, instant improvement.
and then begins to heal, hopefully, for
Yes.
sure. And we trust in her for sure. And yes, absolutely, the education being so much, on the front burner, I think, for a lot of Texans, really of both sides of the aisle, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
What else are the folks in your district concerned with that you're focusing on?
I think the other two main things that I'm focusing on are healthcare. I'm a type 1 diabetic, so I know what it's like to need medication all the time to stay alive. That's a huge problem in our area. 11% of our district is living below the poverty line. If we had Medicaid expansion, they might have access to health care.
Imagine that.
I know. Imagine that. Wouldn't that be nice?
That's our money, too, by the way.
That's our federal money that is just going to other states. It's really not fair.
It's rather insane, I would say. Talk
And-
about your convention experience. At this point. How's it been?
It's been really fun. I've had a great time meeting up with other candidates. I got to meet people that I just see online all the time on Zoom calls. So that's been really fun.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and all of the caucus meetings have been great. I've been talking so much, my voice is like kind of hoarse.
Oh, yeah. We're coming up on the end of that.
Yeah.
For sure. I woke
but
up this
it's
morning going,
good for a good reason, you
yeah,
know?
Yeah. A lot of yapping going on around
Yeah.
here. What's next for your campaign? Where y'all going from here?
So from here, we're going to start planning our block walking and starting to map out our strategy of who we're talking to, who's going to get a call, who's getting phone banked, all that kind of stuff. And looking for events in our area where we can make sure that we're talking to every voter and not just the Democrats, because we're going to need everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stefanie Board, great to see you again.
Yeah, same.
Real quick,
Thank
tell
you.
them where they can find you online and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Look for me, Stefanie Board for Texas.com, and on everything else, I'm at Steph Board 4TX, the number 4TX 126, and don't forget it's Steph with an F and BORD, no E's or A's.
Right. Got to spell it out.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, back in action here at the Texas Democratic Convention, Corpus Christi. We are having such a good time and running into new people and also people who we've already met, in the past and have become friends with. Tyler Smith is with us. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Great to see you again.
Tyler, of course, is the now the Democratic nominee. Has been. You didn't have a
no primary for me, so we've been here for a while.
Yeah. You've been in action for a bit. The district is in Houston proper.
So Houston proper, Spring Branch, Jersey Village, and a little bit of Cy-Fair as well.
Very, very good. So you've been on the official campaign trail for a good long time now.
A year.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we made a year.
Wow, that's crazy. How does the convention change your trajectory? Talk about the energy coming out of here. Does it change the way you've been doing your thing, or are there any kind of pivots?
Yeah, I think we are really fired up from convention. We have been gaining so much momentum coming into convention. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were placed on the DLCC's targeted list as one of the targeted races in the state.
Awesome.
So coming in and seeing some of our CD members, seeing some of the caucuses that believed in us early. From the Labor Caucus, who were an early supporter of us, to the Veterans Caucus, who are early supporters of us, to be in the rooms and hear the energy and see people who are ready to get out there. It felt really good this week.
Love it. Talk about the district in particular. We've talked about this before, but let's do it again. What are the needs of that district? Affordability is on everybody's mind, and that's pretty universal. Drilling down a little deeper from that, what particular issues do you want potential voters to know about and your view of them?
Yeah, I think education is top of everyone's mind right now. I think we are living in some critical, crazy times right now. In our district, we just had a school close for a couple weeks ago, Northbrook Middle School. And while that school was closing, we had activists and leaders out at the school board meetings. And my opponent was on podcast talking about an ice rink that's not even in our district. Yeah. So we are focused on making sure that we're taking care of our local schools. And when we send me to the legislature next year, that's what we're going to do.
Very, very good. Unity has been a topic we've been asking everybody about. I think the mainstream media out there would like to make more of that. I haven't seen a whole lot of disunity around this place. Everybody seems to be pretty fired up and happy. How do you see any issues around unity, and do you think things are going well with that? Does anything need to happen?
Yeah, I think the Democratic Party right now in the state of Texas has been more unified than they ever have been. We have an amazing top of the ticket with Gina Hinojosa and James Tallarico, and then some of our other top of the ticket people. like John Rosenthal, who I'm a big fan of, in the area with us in Houston, Sarah Eckhart. I think Democrats are more fired up and unified for November than ever. I know we're more fired up and unified than Republicans. So.
Yeah, well, nobody's getting kicked out of here because of their religion.
No, and we don't believe in things like that.
Strangely enough.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Awesome. So what's coming up next for you coming out of this weekend in Corpus?
Yeah, I mean, the fundraising deadline is coming up on Tuesday. Right now, we have done something remarkable. We have raised over $100,000, taking $0 in corporate PAC money.
Lovely.
All of that has been raised by over 1,000 donors who have donated to this campaign because they believe in our mission. Right after that, though, we're going to be out knocking doors. It's time that we go and talk to voters. So we're kicking off our canvas launch. We've already been knocking doors, but we're going to do a big canvas launch on July 11th because we know that this game is won by getting out there and knocking on the door. So we're going to be out in the community doing town halls. We're going to be out in the community doing some door knocking. I'm challenging my opponent to debate. She won't debate me, but if she come out there, we'd love for the people to see the difference in stark of what the district offers. So
what's the holdup? Why would he not want to debate?
I mean, I have not seen my opponent in I don't know how long. I say if you want to see her, the only place you can find her is in Republican Women Caucus meetings. Other than that, she does not come to school board meetings. She does not come to local community meetings. So I would love for her to come out and debate us and talk about the issues. So
let's make that happen for sure. Tyler Smith, thanks for coming by.
Chris, thank you as always. Good to see you.
Hello. We've had some very cool people come by our table this week, but some very special guests with us today. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Will and John, two of our beautiful board members. Thank you for joining us.
Our pleasure.
Yes. So, Will, I have a question. Secular Houston, no longer Secular Houston, Secular Texas PAC. Tell me about that. Going statewide. Big news.
Statewide vision. There actually Secular Houston still exists, and it's the inertia still going strong. We just decided that it's time to deal with money. We do not like the fact that money and politics is a thing. We don't like it at all, but it's a thing. Mm-hmm. So we formed a state PAC, not a gross super PAC or all the other gross PACs. So it's a state PAC. So the money that is contributed to us, we get to donate to the endorsed candidate, to the candidates that Secular Houston endorses. Mm-hmm. And the vision is to have a Secular San Antonio, Secular Austin, Secular Dallas Fort Worth, Secular Rio Grande Valley. And they have their own endorsement lists, and we the Secular Texas PAC can donate money to them. So having an endorsement list, having our people send energy to these endorsees is terrific. But to have some money now behind it, it gives us even more weight. And the way I describe it is that the other side they sit on a mountain of money. We all know this. And they have enough money to fund a Death Star. We just want enough to buy an X-Wing fighter. And you know how that story goes.
Yeah, well, that's all you need, right?
Yeah.
Very cool way to keep local control over something so huge. So very cool.
Yeah, it's our lane to get people that want to advocate for church-state separation. We're not anti-theist. We're not anti-religion. We're pro-church-state separation, which is already the rage. We see what's happening here in Texas now, and it's only going to get worse. So we're ready to push back.
Yeah. John, hello.
Hello there.
So tell me a little bit about you. For folks who don't know, you are a pilot.
Yes.
You fly some very cool planes.
Yeah, I'm very, very fortunate to get to fly all around the U.S., fly for a big airline.
Yeah.
And,
what have you done recently?
Just recently I also fly some air shows.
Yeah.
And so that's with a historical organization, and we tell the story of the greatest generation and try to keep World War II history alive and share those stories so people don't forget what happened in the 30s and the 40s, and America actually used to fight fascism.
Yeah. Very cool way to share stories and keep memories alive, which is exactly what we're doing here. And, as members of the board, tell us a little bit more about what it's like being on the board. What kind of stuff do you guys do for folks who don't know?
I was thrilled to be a part of this team. I've been a fan since 2025, or at least, and just instantly hooked by the Daily Dispatch. It was short, concise, amazing, and they say bad words in the morning, so I love that. And I just got more and more involved with y'all. Actually, I'm in the Houston area, and so is John, and I kind of think y'all needed more of a presence in Harris County, huge county. So the opportunity came along, joined the board, the 501c3 arm, and I'm doing everything I can to spread the word in Harris County among my orbit, and just to kind of amplify the amplification of the progressive voice.
Amplify the amplification. I like that. What about you, John?
Well, I actually attended the 15th anniversary party and met Kathleen in person there, and I asked her, well, when are you coming to Houston? And so she challenged me. She says, when we have somebody on the ground to help us out. So I took that under my hat, and we set up an event and hosted there probably about 18 months ago, and just been trying to help out where I can, and was honored when asked to be on the board, and just so excited to be a part of this great organization.
Yeah, we're happy to have y'all. So have you guys been to convention before?
I was at the El Paso convention 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
This is my first state convention.
Okay. Tell me about it. How's it been? First impressions?
It's been terrific.
Yeah?
I'm just kind of spreading the word, letting people know that Secular Texas PAC exists. There is an appetite, or there is organization as far as church-state separation. So I've had a bunch of terrific conversations with people, and we are also kind of a small part of the secular caucus that happened yesterday morning. And I was heartened by the people that showed up. Is kind of almost a packed room. It was amazing.
What about you, John? What's your favorite thing that you've seen so far as convention weekend?
I think the favorite thing that I've seen is the energy.
Yeah.
From everybody that's here, the almost 2,200 delegates and all the guests. You just walk around this room and people are excited. They see hope on the horizon, and that's the best part. The education's fun, the caucuses are fun, and the speechifying's fun.
Yeah.
But it's about the people, and it's our community that's here, and our friends.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by. It's always a pleasure to talk to you both. Hope you have a good rest of your convention weekend.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Of course.
Thank you.
Okay, Abram McKee is with us. He is the College Dems president at University of Texas RGV down in the Valley. It's great to meet you.
It's great to meet you, Chris Mosier.
How are you doing at this convention? How's it treating you?
This is my first one, so I've been great. I am really glad I can find a couple of water dispensers full and get some water in. But overall, it's been great.
Very, very good. So it's interesting to think of colleges in Texas. We see what's going on at UT Austin and Texas Tech and Texas A&M. There is a blatant assault on academic integrity that's coming from the conservative powers that be in this state. Do you observe any of that sort of stuff at your school down in South Texas, and what would you say about all of that type of trend?
All right, I'm gonna try and shy away because the university has the thing about the university, right, is that it's not necessarily partisan.
Yeah.
But it exactly wants to maintain that reputation.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like academic oppression.
Right.
But it's an academic suppression of all as much political organization as it could.
Yeah.
In order to preserve, funding. That might be a controversial, but I'm going to say it nonetheless.
And this is a situation that you face head on as the president of the College Dems down there.
Yeah, I will say we do have our supporters both in and without, and that really makes it a lot easier, but there are definitely some organizations both outside and inside the campus that have their difficulties organizing.
Right.
We just try to smooth that over.
Very good, very good.
Mm-hmm.
So folks your age, coming up through college, hard job market, difficult economy, do you see among your peers, and of course you're very plugged in and very activated, but of your, say, just a little bit more, everyday students that you see on a day, across campus on a daily basis, do you detect any sort of any political trend, any kind of awakening, people beginning to understand that they've got some influence, based on their votes or based on what they do politically?
Yeah, I will say that the Valley itself, while it has seen an increased turnout, especially with this last election, since November 5th, we were a big part of a big turnout there. The University Polling Center went from one of the lowest turnout areas in the county to the third most packed.
Wow.
And we're really happy. And that was for a mayoral and a ballot initiative, the amendments.
Yeah.
And so while I'm really glad to see that uptick, I do notice that a lot of it is very much undirected. It's a bit unwieldy. Everyone's a bit angry. Everyone's a bit like, okay, I have to vote, but I don't know what or why to vote.
Right.
And I view my role in that scenario as guiding that arrow in the right direction.
Give me a little bit of that, like what the type of messaging that you're using for folks who are, politically curious at this point, but not sure which way to go.
So a lot of it, as you know, is anguish, and so we try to tap into understanding that grief over that loss of opportunity.
Sure.
A lot of the Valley, people from the Valley, tend to go into oil and gas as a way to get a quick job. Mm-hmm. If they don't go into that, they may go to the community college for a welder certificate or some kind of trade. But if they're lucky to go to a 4-year college, or if they want to return to a 4-year college, we try to tap into their ability to use their future to benefit not just themselves but their community at the same time.
Right on.
Right
on. That's great stuff. Very, very good. What do you plan to do out of college? You going to stay in politics?
So, I'm afraid I've always I've trapped myself on this train. When I was a lot younger, I was like, I could always go into this industry. I'm young enough for civil engineering, but once I started getting involved and I became president, I was like, you know what? I guess I'm just doing politics all the rest of my life.
I like it. Very good.
I am going to be a forever senior. I have the full FAFSA, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to put 2 majors. I'm going to put 3 minors. I'm going to be in for till 28. So that'll be very fun to organize in a presidential year.
That's going to be a big year for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hey, it's great to meet you. Any last impressions coming out of the convention?
I was going to say that, I attended the College Dems caucus, and I had this urge to say, every college kid hears from the 50s, the 40-year-olds saying, "Oh, it's so refreshing to see young faces."
Yeah.
As someone in my 20s, I want to say, "Oh my God, it's refreshing to see so many young faces." Yeah. Sometimes I'll go to a CEC meeting and I don't know whether or not to bring out the data sheets or some bingo.
Yeah, that's right. Awesome. It's good to meet you.
It's great to meet you, Chris.
Abram McKee. Say hello to everybody down on campus for us, and we'll
everyone plug into Progress Texas, please. I've been pushing you guys onto my kiddos.
I love it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, a little behind the scenes note here as we continue our candidate line of interviews here at the Texas Democratic Convention is that the candidates themselves have actually been helping with the production, which is really, really nice. Very, very nice. Dawn and Riley back over here setting it all up. Really, really nice. We are here with Amelia Raybroker.
Yes, Amelia Raybroker.
Can't believe I got the name right.
Yes.
The first time. Very, very cool. Where does that name come from?
It is a German name. My husband's family is from Germany, and they settled Westphalia, Texas.
Yep.
The German way is Raybroker, but American way is Raybroker.
Americanized.
Yes.
I like it. Tell me about your race.
So my race, I am running for state representative, House District 55, which is in Bell County.
Yep. And we just talked to Dawn a second ago, who is out of the same neighborhood, basically.
She is. Our county, as she said, is split. I am the donut hole, and she is the donut.
That's awesome. So talk about, and Dawn and I talked about this, but you give me your perspective. That's a lot of growth in that part of the state over the last little while. How have politics changed along with the growth of the population?
Well, I think for one, we're a very diverse area because we're a military area, and so we are purplish.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
So we are definitely set to turn blue. I feel real confident that we can turn blue this go around. We've been getting closer and closer every year, and I think we've got a lot of young people too. We have a big medical community, so we have a lot of young people coming to areas like Temple and Belton, and then of course the military. So we've got a pretty young population.
Very, very good. Is this your first convention to do?
This is my first convention.
This is only my second. So tell me your impressions of the convention, people you've met, and the vibe around here.
It's wonderful. The vibe has been amazing. I wasn't sure what to expect, but it is. I'm leaving tired, but very motivated. It's been really uplifting to be with so many like-minded people and to just get the message out about my district and represent my district the best I can.
Absolutely. There's questions about unity. I don't see any problems with it. What do you think?
Unity. Well,
for the party.
Oh, for the party.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've got to push forward and come together. We've got a job to do right now. We have a fascism, and we're in a really dangerous spot, and we have got to come together for our democracy and push forward.
Absolutely. So, and I'm trying to ask the House candidates, I think a lot of folks don't realize how narrow the margin is between the Republicans and the Democrats.
Oh, yeah.
It's not all that, They act as though it's a giant advantage that they have, but it's really not that way. The more every single Democrat that lands in the House, every single seat that flips, is closer and closer to an attainable sort of goal. Talk about that and, explain that to folks.
Yeah, so we are very close. My district in particular for 55, I think we're sitting kind of on that bubble of flippable districts.
Yep.
I know in my district in particular, our current rep is, to be frank, she's Abbott's puppet, bought and paid for. She unseated one of our Republican incumbents, the one that went against the voucher scam.
Oh.
Yes, so she was brought here for that.
Let's back up on that for people who don't understand that real quickly. Governor Abbott, upon his frustration of not being able to get the private school voucher thing done, with the money coming from an out-of-state billionaire, went around and primaried a bunch of people who agreed with him on everything else, except for that one thing. They didn't want to sell out their local public schools. And so what you're talking about is the person you're running against is one of the people that replaced one of those people.
Yes, and we are seeing that all over Texas. That's one thing as a candidate, especially a House District candidate, meeting other House District candidates.
Yep.
I didn't realize how common that was and why the state is in the way it is right now with the vouchers, the change of the curriculum, and so forth and so on. But yes, my opponent, he was not my opponent, the former Representative Hugh Shine, he was our incumbent for many, many years. And like you said, he went against the vouchers. It was Abbott's baby, and he got money from Jeff Yaz, and my opponent received almost $500,000 from Abbott to win that primary and to win that seat.
Yeah. So that you're up against a very specific tide, is what we're saying. So that's really interesting. Well, give us your closing pitch to the folks back home and why they need to make sure and get to your part of the ballot and get you in there in Austin.
Okay, well, as I said, I'm Amelia Ray Broker for House District 55. I am pro-public education. I'm ready to fully fund education. I am in a military community. I want to make sure our military community has what it's need. And I will give a quick note. The state mandates for the DV exemptions, this is particular to my district, but I do want to get it out there. Our veterans deserve everything that the perks that they get. They fought hard for our country, but our state is not reimbursing them, and our cities are really struggling. We are losing millions of dollars in these military communities. How can we take care of our active duty and our veterans? We are not taking care of their communities through unfunded state mandates. So that's a real big piece. I want to make sure that money comes back home.
Absolutely.
And I'm a small business owner. I want to make sure our small businesses are alive and thriving.
That would be great. Amelia Ray Broker, it's great to meet you.
It was so nice meeting you.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for waiting.
Yes. Of course. Thanks for doing this. It is Amelia for Texas on all my handles and ameliafortexas.com.
Very, very good.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, here we go. It's been a long day of talking to folks who are doing all they can to improve Texas. And we have yet another candidate here, Colin Knutson, running for the Texas State House. From up in the Panhandle region.
That's right where it's been for 40 years. We've had a Republican incumbent. The seat is finally open, so we are making grounds in the Panhandle of Texas. Democrat movement is strong in there. We do have a new headquarters up there. We've got a slate of candidates up there. We are seeing people come out for the first time in about 40 years saying we actually enjoy having a choice in our race and saying what we can do. I'm very excited about what we're doing.
You are in a part of a state where Democrats have kind of been absent, frankly.
That's right.
So a big change. I think with Kendall and what's happened with the party up to this point has definitely been a change in that direction. Talk about that renewed effort up there.
Yeah, absolutely. So the chairman has come up to Amarillo a couple of times, been there with the Texas Together tour. We brought some statewide. Hinojosa has been with us up there. We're making good grounds. You're right. For a very long time here in Texas, the Democratic Party did kind of abandon our rural Democrats, and we haven't had much of a voice. When I got into this about a year and a half ago, there was no infrastructure in the Panhandle for Democrats to run for office. Since we've been doing the work with my county chairs, my race, a few others, Mark Nair running for Congress, we have found that we do have support in the area. They just have not been activated, and nobody has taken the time to get to know them. So we're changing that, and we're bringing them into the fold. We're creating a huge coalition. Anytime we can get over 300 Democrats to show out at any event, and that was one of our smaller ones. So we had 450 at the Texas Together event at our headquarters. It was amazing.
That's wild. And to think of that happening in Amarillo is really, truly wild.
It is.
You hear that anecdotal story of people doing door knocking in a place like Amarillo, a mid-sized Texas city. and you knock on a door, you find a Democrat. The Democrat says, "Man, you're wasting your time in this part of town because I'm the only one here." And the person knocking on the door looks at their list and says, "No, there's 7 or 8 of you on this one block."
It's connecting neighbors.
Right, and it's because there is a lack of cohesive community that happens in those places, and it's so great to see that beginning to happen.
That's right. Well, what I hear when I'm out walking, I hear a lot of folks say, "Yes, I'm Democrat, but don't tell my neighbor."
Right.
And here's the thing: we have to be brave. We have to stand up for what we believe. Have the courage to go out, make the connections. Hey, maybe they disagree with you. That's okay. We can still be neighbors. We can still love on each other. It's all great.
Sure.
But don't be scared of what is going to happen because you stand up for what you believe in. That's exactly what the other side wants. They want your voice to be down. You have to stand up. Come join me. Be brave. We'll do it together. We will flip the panhandle.
Let's talk to those standard lifelong Republican voters. That there's so many of them in these sized cities that we're talking about in Texas, who are now realizing how screwed up things are.
That's right.
And realizing that not so much. And I don't think it's about being fooled. I think it's about the party perhaps becoming a bit power drunk and really just coming off the rails and going in some unproductive directions for sure. Talk to those folks about why it's time to reconsider a position they may have held against voting for Democrats, just as a knee-jerk position.
Mm-hmm.
Why should people be voting for Democrats in Amarillo?
Well, the reality is, for the last 20 years, the Republican Party has moved away from some of those traditional values that your 80s Reagan Republicans would really believe in.
Yep.
I believe in a local government governs the best. I don't want to see a big liberal government, nor do I want to see a big conservative government. And unfortunately, their vision is big conservative government. It's not about fixing your property taxes. It's about how much can they stick you with the bill with that you're comfortable with so that their billionaire buddies can continue to get things.
Right.
How can we privatize something that should be a public institution like our education so our friends can make money, and if our people suffer a little bit from it, well, that's just the price of doing business. I think largely Republicans don't stand for that kind of deal. I'll be honest with you, Chris. I used to be a Republican. I was involved in the party. I was an operative. And the thing that killed me is we would go out and we would talk about how we're going to support our public schools, support our public teachers, support their pay. And then they'd turn around, go to Austin, and do the exact opposite,
Right.
which is a lot of why I had the transfer over to the Democratic Party. I'm now with folks who are doing the work to make these things happen. And that's the most important thing. If you're a Republican out there, you're not liking the way things are going. It's been over 20 years that we've had this here in Texas. We've given them a shot. It's time to give somebody else a shot. Let some new ideas in. Let some new discussions happen. And I promise you, your life will improve.
Very, very good. Tell them where they find you online and how to get in touch with you.
Absolutely. My name is Cullen Knutson. That's Cullin, Knutson. It's got a silent K in there. You can find me at cullenfortexas.com or on Facebook, Instagram, Cullen for State Representative. As I am in a very red district, anybody who listens to this, if you got a little extra pocket change, please throw it my way because it's very red up there.
Indeed. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, continuing our series of interviews with candidates and folks who are doing all they can to make Texas a better place here at the Texas Democratic Convention for 2026. I was just talking to Desiree Klaus before we got started here. It's actually about, 2 o'clock in the afternoon now?
Yeah.
It feels like 6 p.m.
Yes.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
It's kind of one of those things where we're having so much fun that time is beginning to warp.
Yes.
At this sort of
Definitely.
level.
I definitely feel the wave of that.
Yeah. Some kind of Star Trek reference or something. But hey, let's talk about your run. Actually, give me the details of your district. Like what
Yeah.
who are the folks we're talking about?
Yeah, so I'm in House District 128, which is Harris County, Far East Harris County. So we're talking about Baytown, Highlands, Huffman, LaPorte, Deer Park, parts of Pasadena, and Morgan's Point.
Did you say Deer Park?
I did say Deer
That's
Park.
the home of Briscoe Kane.
Yes, it is.
Do we feel bad about Briscoe being kicked to the curb?
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Okay, tell me what that tells you. Is there a sea change going on in that part of the state?
Yeah, so it's an open seat since he decided that he wanted to run for the redistricting map, the new congressional district that they tried to lay out for him.
Right.
That didn't work in his favor.
It didn't work out at all.
No, it did not. So open seat. I am definitely a representation of the community. I've lived in Baytown for the last 43 years.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in public education as well. My kids go to public schools. I'm a mom. I'm a small business owner. So I definitely feel like I have, an idea of where I'm living and who I'm representing as well.
Very, very good. Talk about the vibe that you felt here at the convention. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
kind of long hours and kind of a lot of it, but that's how it is at these events. It's people who live and thrive on this sort of business, though, so everybody seems to be pretty happy, even if we're tired. Talk about your experience at the convention.
Yeah, so it's my first time coming to a convention.
We're hearing that a lot.
Yeah, I'm a first-time candidate as well, and so I am just so inspired and motivated, and I think it's definitely something I needed. Yeah. I love also being able to connect with people. I'm a people person. I love people, all backgrounds, all walks of life, so I think that's also just something I'm just passionate about. Yeah. So being here is very comfortable.
Yeah.
And yeah. I feel like I'm in it, right? I'm ready to go. So we were in and out of all the caucuses yesterday, all the media today. So it's been great. Yes.
Very, very good. What is the most important thing to the folks that you're trying to reach in your district? Like, what's the primary issue or issues that you're hammering out on the campaign trail?
Right. Well, I mean, we've got a couple, right? Which is obviously the workforce training and the jobs and economy, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we got the schools and also affordable health care as well. The workforce training, though, is probably on my top of my list right now because we are a community that is suffering. We have a very high unemployment rate. Right. We have also just a lack of the small business community being cultivated and supported. I feel like as a small business owner myself, I feel like Main Street needs to be more developed and supported, and unfortunately we've had small businesses close on a monthly basis. We just had one, we have one closing the 1st of July called Four Corners Barbecue. They've been open for 21 years.
Wow.
And they're closing. And it is
Bummer.
Specifically because of the economy.
Is our beef prices hurting them? I'm sure they are.
I'm sure they are, but
Yeah,
I think
that's a
I think it's a lot of it, right? When you
Yeah.
can't afford your insurance or your healthcare insurance, and then you have all these other things that stack up against you. I mean, where is the relief that the billionaires are getting?
Right, right.
We need that relief here, just in the regular community.
Right. Talk about the effect that happens at the Texas House if suddenly there's a whole bunch of new Democrats sitting around there.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of negotiating.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, I believe that we should be able to all be fed, be clothed, have good jobs, have good health insurance. Those are things I believe we all should be able to have. Right. And if that's, going to be on the negotiating table, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
Right? Let's do that. But as far as special interest groups and making billionaires more money, no.
Right.
That's off the table.
Very, very good. Give us your closing pitch to the folks back home.
Yeah, well, my closing pitch is that, y'all, I'm not bought, I'm building. And so help me build this campaign through this journey because we're done with Briscoe. And so we need to be able to move forward and to create a new generation of people that are advocated, educated, and just inspired by what's happening in our district.
It's just occurred to me that we're not going to have Briscoe Cane to kick around anymore.
Darn.
It's kind of sad, actually.
Darn.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Desiree Klaus. All right, here we go. Once again, we're meeting new people. We're catching up with old friends.
Yeah.
We're also meeting people, as the kids say, IRL. For the first time.
Offline.
Right. Diana Luna.
Yes.
Is a candidate for the Texas House, who we met along with Kyle Rable and also Riley Rodriquez.
And Mark Nair.
Yeah. Who I hear Mark is not here this week. We're here in Corpus Christi at the convention, by the way. Has recovered well from a vocal surgery that he had. Have you heard about that?
No, I didn't. I was actually looking for him because I don't know if you've seen his cards.
Yeah.
But they look like legendary Pokemon cards.
Okay, yeah. I think I have one sitting right over there, actually. Those are probably the best cards I've seen so far.
Yeah,
and he's
really
not
cool.
even here. What's going on?
I know, right? Yeah, I was
Mark.
hoping to catch one of his cards.
Yeah. Well, I'll arm wrestle you for mine.
All right.
How about that?
Sounds
Okay. Diana is running for the House.
Yep.
And all these candidates that we're talking about, by the way, are kind of from up the West Texas Panhandle sort of area up there.
The scrappy candidates?
Yeah, what's that?
The scrappy candidates?
The scrappy ones, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Talk about your race.
So I'm running in House District 71, and I tell people it was an area of Texas that not only was just forgotten by the Democrats because they thought it was inevitable it was going to go red,
Right.
but really the Republicans as well. They thought it was inevitable it was going to go red. They didn't really have to touch base with the community. It was just inevitable. And so now West Texans want representation. They want people that know the community. They want people that care about selling out to data centers.
Right.
They want people that care that the cost of living has tripled in our area and that aren't in bed with essentially the tech billionaires.
Right. You were probably one of the first people that I can remember
Yeah.
that was really raising the alarm about data centers.
Yeah.
And now it's everywhere. Now everybody's talking about it on both sides of the aisle. It's an existential threat all across the state, both urban and rural. Everybody's concerned about this problem. You were real early on it.
Yeah, I feel like me and Mark Nair were talking about it and sounding kind of crazy a year ago.
Yes.
And we were like, it's going to automate away 1 million jobs in Texas. And people were like, what are you talking about?
Right,
And
right,
we weren't
right.
even talking about the water yet.
That's right. Yeah. And that, you know what, that's actually, and not to digress, I want to talk about your campaign, but there has been a bit of a disconnect between the worries about what AI is going to do to the workforce just as a technology versus this environmental problem at the data centers. Nobody's really put those two things together quite yet.
That's what they're for. Also mass surveillance. But let's just talk about jobs.
Right.
So Texas is actually one of the largest call center hubs in the country.
Okay.
It's one of for a high school graduate that doesn't have any other degree, just a high school graduate equivalent, which is the majority of our economy. Over 50% of our economy is just a high school graduate. That's one of the best jobs that you can get at about $15 an hour. Those jobs will be decimated by AI.
Sure.
That's one of the main jobs they're trying to automate away. Never mind when robot trucks get on the line, and that's one of the biggest jobs in all 50 states.
Right.
And especially for a high school graduating male. And we have not really provided a path forward for the people whose jobs that we're automating away.
Right.
Yeah.
There's got to be a big change coming.
Yeah.
And it's going to take people who are focusing on the futures of people and the lives of working Texans as opposed to corporate bottom lines and profits.
That's right.
So that's a big change coming. Talk about the convention, your experience here. This is not your first time, is it?
This is my first convention.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been a voting Democrat for a really long time, but not like going to the convention Democrat, really.
Yeah.
I have a family, I'm a wife, I'm a mom. We're kind of busy doing other things. I'm
Sure.
lucky if we get to take a family vacation every year.
Yeah.
My husband works in manufacturing, and I work as an analyst in a hospital, so we're just busy people.
Yeah.
So this is my first convention. As a candidate, they kind of encourage you to come. So but it's been amazing, especially I think the presence of rural Texans,
right?
And that we're telling people, hey, we're in play this.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on out there.
Yep.
Like, we're having hundreds of people show up at our No Kings rally that are Republicans. I was told this story about, we had this kid show up in a Charlie Kirk shirt to our last No Kings rally. We thought he was going to come and protest. And he was out there holding a sign that said tax the rich. And so, there's this crazy crossover that's happening
a crazy crossover
in West Texas. It's like, hey, these guys came in, are threatening to take our farmland by eminent domain, and it's time to tax the rich.
Yeah.
And so we can disagree on a lot of things, but just everyday kitchen table issues, we have to be able to feed our families. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely a confidence in that swing coming out of Corpus Christi for sure.
Yeah.
Give us closing pitch to the folks back home. Make sure you get down to your part of the ballot.
Well, my name is Dione Luna. I'm running for House District 71. I'm not taking billionaire PAC money, so I can actually stand up to them. I'm running to fund our public schools. I work in healthcare analysis. There is actually a way to make healthcare cheaper for everyday citizens, and there's no reason why you should be driving Uber to afford your cancer treatment.
Right. I agree. Awesome.
Yeah.
Diane Luna, thank you so much.
No problem.
Terrific to see you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for making time.
Totally. All right, once again, here we go. Texas Democratic Party Convention for 2026, Corpus Christi, Texas. We're having such a good time. We're meeting lots of cool new people. Jason Pierce is next in the cavalcade of candidates. How are you, sir?
I am doing fantastic. How are you today?
I'm really, really good. You've actually been doing a little AV work for us here while you've been sitting in line.
I mean, I used to work at the Richardson Performing Arts Center doing audio, visual, stage crew stuff.
Yeah.
So I actually helped the Mothers Against Greg Abbott set up their audio setup yesterday.
Oh, super cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for being the man in the pinch.
Hey, I'm happy to help however I can.
I love it.
So, yeah.
It takes all of us pulling in the same direction. So
100%. It's a team effort.
It's a great example of that. Tell us about your race. Tell us all about it.
So I'm running for U.S. Congress District 4. I'm going against Pat Fallon. And essentially, he is running to become the ranking Republican of the House Oversight Committee.
Right.
And currently, he's under investigation for $20 million of insider trading fraud.
Wow.
So he would be investigating himself. He would also be in charge of investigating every single thing for the next 2 years. So if we want actual accountability in our government, we have a real chance to stop him right now before he even has that opportunity to stop actual accountability.
Very, very good. How has your convention experience been? We've been talking all about, that everybody's fired up. Everybody seems to be pretty charged and ready to go.
Yeah.
Unity is being talked about. That's kind of been the standard sort of talking point of the convention.
Yeah.
Talk about what I see lots of it around here. What's your experience?
So it's been fantastic. I have never been to a convention before, except for maybe the county convention earlier this year.
Yeah.
It's been fantastic just getting to meet so many different people. I got to talk to quite a few caucuses yesterday. It's really funny because I don't see myself as a politician. Like, I'm just a normal person who happens to have paid the DNC to be on the ballot. Like,
Sure.
It's nothing too crazy, but going around, meeting all these candidates, seeing the ballots and everything, and recognizing everybody that you know personally, like on that sheet, is really surreal. Yesterday, I watched the ads for all of their campaigns, and it was basically imagine seeing your friends on TV and then realizing that the show that they're on is about them.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling, but it's awesome.
It is very, very cool. Talk about your district in particular. Everybody's talking affordability. That's everywhere.
Yes.
Everyone's experiencing
Yes.
it. Drill down from there into things that are important for the folks that you want their vote.
Sure. So my county or my district has a very wide range of people in it. So I have the west side of Plano, Frisco, a little bit of Denton. So we have the more suburban type of areas where housing affordability is the biggest issue there. It's like $1,800 for a one-bedroom apartment, which is crazy. And then it goes up to Grayson County, and it's all of the northern borders counties from Grayson, Fannin, Lamar, Red River, and Bowie, almost to Texarkana. So there's a lot of rural areas. And for them, the biggest issue is having clean drinking water. They don't have any clinics or hospitals where people can go. There are people dying in transit trying to go to a different county.
Right.
And the biggest thing that is actually responsible to Pat Fallon, the only thing he's passed in Congress has been something to take back fracking protections. So right now in Lamar and Red River, they're trying to build the Marvin Nichols Reservoir, which, long story short, because of that fracking underground to get lithium, it's essentially going to be building a 66,000 acre reservoir on top of Swiss cheese. So it could end up collapsing half of my district.
Wow.
Just from water erosion. So it's a big deal, and it's not being treated with the seriousness that it needs to be.
Very, very good. I mean, seriousness, I think, is a pretty key term when we're talking about who's in charge. And
right now, Pat Fallon, instead of focusing on that stuff, he is investigating Harvard for ties to the Chinese Communist Party. So priorities are in order.
Seriousness, silliness, it's time to straighten it out for sure. Give us a quick closing pitch to the folks back home. Coming out of this convention, what's your inspiration for them to vote D?
So, really, I'm going to have to look at myself in the mirror 30 years from now. And whenever I saw so many people suffering from what's going on, I felt like I had much less to lose than so many people. And I felt that it was my responsibility to step in front of the bullet, so to say. I just want to help people. I'm just a normal person. I don't care about money, politics, power. I can't be bought. I'm really good at being poor, so that doesn't matter to me. But the thing that I care about more than anything is not the title of, representative, Democrat, whatever. The only thing I care about is being a good person who protects people who need it the most. I believe in servant leadership, integrity, honesty, empathy, and I just want to have an opportunity to really earn the vote, because this community has saved my life in more ways than one. And finding this kind of relationship. They're not voters to me. They are a second family
People,
and
yeah.
friends. And,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to pay them back for what they've already done for me. So
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Very well said. Inspiring.
Thank you.
Jason Pierce, good luck in your campaign. Be
Thank
safe.
you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for waiting. Thanks for running the computer.
Oh, my pleasure. It was a very fast 10 minutes.
All right, here we go. Once again, continuing the cavalcade of interviews that we have going on here. It's becoming difficult to manage, frankly, but it's totally fine. It's the perfect kind of fun.
We'll stick together.
Cate O'Brien Duzan.
Yes.
Got her name right. Running for the House, running for the State House, correct?
Correct. Cate O'Brien Duzan, running for House District 94.
Very, very good. Tell us how your convention has been.
It's been good. It has been busy and bustling, but everybody's pretty energized.
Yeah, totally. Is this did I hear you say this is the first time you've done this?
This is my first one.
It's only my second one.
Okay.
So we were in El Paso. It was my first one a couple of years ago. We keep talking about unity, and that's kind of been the theme coming into this thing. On the second full day here of events, or at least here in the Expo Center, I don't see any problem with unity around me. What do you think?
I think we all care about very similar issues. When you hear people talk, I find myself nodding my head a lot of the time.
I'm doing a lot
right?
of that too. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we all feel the urgency, and I think we all feel the necessity of the same issues in a lot of cases.
State House candidates that I've talked to, it's interesting that the margin in that body is as slim as it is.
Yeah.
It's not, you would think with the way that they behave there that they've got no problem, but I think they might have a problem. What do you think?
About House races overall,
Or just don't know about the Republicans hanging on to things. Like it's not that much. Every Democrat added to the House, every single one is closer to a goal that's not real far away.
That's right. And it changes the dynamic.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess to rephrase the question, how do people's lives change when there are more Democrats in the Texas House?
You've got more people actually working for you.
Yeah.
And not the billionaire donors, right, that are
Absolutely.
funding them.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. So tell us about your district in particular. Everybody's talking affordability. That's everywhere, and definitely talk about that. But what are the other issues that the folks in your district are concerned about?
Yeah, so in House District 94, yes, affordability, right? Our costs are going up for everything, from groceries to gas to healthcare.
Yep.
But our wages are not keeping pace, and a lot of people are worried about losing their jobs.
Right.
But for healthcare especially, I would say, is one that's on a lot of people's minds, having that access and affordable health care.
Right.
You know, and then another big issue that we care about is public education.
Sure.
Especially with the State Board of Education vote that just happened yesterday as well.
Yeah. Whole lot of Bible going in there. Absolutely a change. The people who are alarmed by the things they're seeing in the news, it's just kind of a wild coincidence that we have an election coming up where a lot of that stuff could be either drawn back or changed or whatever. We definitely have a big opportunity there.
That's right.
So give us a final pitch to your folks, to your voters out there. What do they need to know about you? Why do they need to make sure and get down to your part of the ballot and make sure and click next to your name?
Yeah, so I'm Cate O'Brien Duzan, running for House District 94, and I am running for office to fight for the people. That's what I'm here for our community, for our kids, because we all deserve better, and our kids especially deserve a lot better from adults that should know better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's great to see you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
Howdy. Could you tell me who you are and tell me what we're doing here today?
I'm Mark Meyer, and I'm running for Place 3 on the 15th Court of Appeals. Most important court in Texas that no one has ever heard about.
Ever heard about? Ever? Well, you guys are hearing it for the first time. Well, tell us about it.
The 15th Court of Appeals was created in the 2023 legislature, started in September of 2024. Joan Huffman was the senator who brought it up, but really I think it's Greg Abbott's attempt to go around the 3rd Court of Appeals in Austin because of the jurisdiction that the 15th Court of Appeals has.
Explain a little bit more about that. What do you mean the jurisdiction for folks who don't know?
Most people who know anything about the 15th Court of Appeals think it's the business appeals court, which it is, but that is only part of its jurisdiction.
Yeah.
It also has jurisdiction over appeals by and against state agencies, boards, committees, etc., and state officials in their official capacity. Think Ken Paxton or Greg Abbott taking actions in their official capacity, and also constitutional issues against the state of Texas if the Attorney General is a party to the case.
Yeah. So it would be your job to hold the leaders in office accountable, if I'm understanding you correctly, right?
If a case comes up on appeal, yes.
Yeah.
We're the ones who decide that. And that's another thing that's important about this court. The Supreme Court of Texas, where people would appeal from this court, is a court that only takes certain cases. They take about 70 cases a year. The intermediate appellate courts, like the 15th Court, are required to consider every case that are appealed to it.
Okay, yeah.
So this is where decisions are going to be made for those types of cases.
Yeah. Speak a little bit more about that. Why is it so important that you be in this position to hold those people accountable?
A little bit about myself is I'm a retired Houston firefighter. I'm a registered nurse, still licensed, and I'm board certified in administrative law, which is the type of law that we're talking about when we're dealing with state agencies and regulatory issues. So that body of law is what I'm a specialist in. None of the other, either my two colleagues, Jerry Zimmer or Tom Baker, are specialists in that area, although Tom Baker was on the Third Court of Appeals, so he does have some knowledge. Or the Republican appointees that are sitting on the court now, none of them are administrative law specialists.
So how has your experience been at convention? You were telling me that this is, what, your 6th or 7th convention?
I think, if I counted back correctly, this is my 6th convention.
Yeah.
It's been a very good convention. It's just blazingly hot here in Corpus Christi. The only saving grace is that we've had a lot of wind off the bay.
I feel like it's just moving around the heat, though. You know, it's kind of playing tricks on you. So you're running as a slate with other candidates. Tell me a little bit more about who you're running with.
Okay. Jerry Zimmer is running for Chief Justice.
Okay.
Jerry Zimmer was a appellate court justice, I believe, on the 14th Court of Appeals from 2018, the Beto election through 2024, and then Tom Baker was on the Third Court of Appeals for that same time period. So they have appellate court experience. I'm the administrative law specialist, and so I think we make a good team because we bring different areas of interest and expertise into the matter.
And with everybody coming to convention and trying to figure out how they fit into the party and into the campaigns, how can folks at home that are listening get involved with you, and what can they do to help you get to the
Well, the
field?
first thing they can do is that they can find out more about the 15th Court of Appeals, look at the decisions that are coming down from the 15th Court of Appeals to understand exactly what jurisdiction and what is happening in that court, because that'll explain to people how that court is going to be important to them, because it's going to be important to different people for different reasons. But every citizen of Texas is going to be affected by this court in some way, be it an issue with AI data centers, water use issues, Public Utility Commission, professional licensing and certification issues, or those constitutional issues I was talking about earlier.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. This was great. Thanks.
Thank you, Haley.
Appreciate it. Hi.
All right, once again, it's the Texas Democratic Convention, Corpus Christi, continuing through a long list of worthy Democratic candidates and nominees. We appreciate everybody being patient with us, of course, today. We are back with Rhonda Hart, who we have had on before.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like we first met in El Paso. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
You hit the nail on the head.
Very good. Was that your first convention, El Paso?
It totally was.
It was mine also.
Yeah.
And so here we are. Let's actually, this is a unique opportunity. Compare and contrast the El Paso experience with the Corpus Christi experience.
That's funny you should ask. So I am normally a comic book convention kind of girl.
Okay.
And I went into El Paso thinking, yeah, this is going to be like a comic book, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. And I think I really wore myself out in El Paso, going to every single caucus.
Yeah.
I didn't eat I didn't eat well. I wasn't hydrated.
Yeah.
And I left there like really feeling like I had been hit by a truck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this year going in, I knew what to expect better. And so I knew I needed to manage my convention expectations. So I did. And I also gave them some feedback about like vendors last year.
Okay.
I said, can we have some things? I want to come home with some tchotchkes. I want to come
Sure.
home
There
with
are
some,
tchotchkes here.
I know. I want to come home with some more stickers and hats and all that dumb crap.
Yeah.
And look at all this. We have stuff we can actually buy.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. And Pride was here the other day.
Yep.
Yeah. It was
Yep.
awesome.
I need to get around and take a closer look before we get done.
Exactly.
But let's talk about your campaign. That's why
Okay.
we're here.
Right on.
Is this second time running?
Third time if you count a school board run.
Okay.
In 2019.
Okay. Tell us about your race.
Okay.
Tell us your story. We've heard your story, but
Yeah.
talk to people who haven't heard it yet.
So I'm running against Air Force veteran Dr. MAGA Brian Babin.
Right.
And he is older than my dad. We did the math. He's born in 1940 something.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
Right.
retirement is a deal.
Yeah.
And so this is my second time running. I've always been gun violence got me into this race.
Yes.
Got me into politics in the beginning, but also right now, the world is pretty much going to hell in a handbasket.
Of course.
Gas prices are through the roof. Veterans are getting gypped on their health care. Active duty are getting treated like crap and getting infected with influenza.
That's right.
Health care for civilians is out of control. And yeah, somebody needs to rein these guys in.
Absolutely. Let's talk about, also kind of compare and contrast from the El Paso year from 2 years ago. Anything you learned in that run that you've employed in your current campaign?
Oh, that's funny you should ask. When I ran in 24, I thought I can do this as a one-woman show. And I did. And I had a team of like 4 or 5 volunteers, like overqualified adult volunteers.
Yeah.
And I about ran myself ragged. It was too much. I couldn't do it. I couldn't manage the emails, all the text messaging. And so this time I reached out to Nancy Thompson, actually, with Moms Against Greg Abbott.
Moms Against Greg Abbott, yep.
MAGA the Good. And she introduced me to the guys at North Compass Political, and they've been helping me behind the scenes.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Have a little support.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's great. Give us your impressions of what's coming out of this convention in terms of tone, in terms of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
How's everybody feeling? How are you feeling about how everybody else is feeling?
I came in, I was like, I don't know if I want to go to convention. And then I left yesterday feeling good but tired.
Sure.
Optimized, optimistic but tired.
Yep.
I still went home and took a shower and went to Olive Garden.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
But I feel better. I felt better at the end of yesterday that people are energized, to get out the vote. A lot of people are generally, the MAGAs, the GOP, they're getting real tired of Donald Trump and his crap, literally and figuratively.
Yep.
And they want some change. So I'm here for it.
Very, very good. Quick closing pitch to the folks back home.
Oh, yeah.
With some emphasis on why they need to make sure they go, beyond James Tallarico, beyond Gina Hinojosa.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Get on down the ballot.
So a lot of people don't know this, and I had to explain this to my boyfriend, that we think that the top of the ballot is, they think it's the most important whenever you vote for president and whatever.
Sure.
But actually, the closer that you get to the bottom of the ballot, that's closer to home.
Closer to your life.
Closer to your life. And so the farther, down that list, and like in Harris County, it can be quite substantial.
Sure.
But they need to go and vote that whole ballot. And you have to go through page by page, because was it last year or the year before, Texas GOP did away with straight party ticket voting.
That's right.
So you have to go manually page by page.
It's weird to me because I get such pleasure out of every click that I click in that place, and so I would almost think it's more fun.
Do you make a list? Do you make a list of candidates?
Through my work, I usually know enough about what's on the ballot just through work.
Yeah.
But there's invariably someone on the ballot that I don't know much about.
Yeah, totally.
And so I should prepare better. And what you're talking about is a voting plan.
Yeah. So
and that's an important thing to do.
Yeah. So folks that don't know your ballot, you can go to vote411.org. It's a non-party associated.
Yep.
And you can go and read biographies of all the candidates and write down who you want. If you want Joe Smith versus, I don't know, Joe Peabody, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for keeping on. It's really, really impressive.
Look, I'm super resilient. I'm like dry rot. You can't ever get rid of me.
Rhonda Hart, we don't want to get rid of you.
I know.
We're glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you.
Great
Hey,
to see you
folks,
again.
in 36, vote for the lady that has a heart for her community.
I like it.
Thank you.
Great slogan.
Hello. Hi.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Tell me who you are and tell me what we're doing here today.
My name is Tanya Lloyd, and I am the Democratic nominee for Congressional District 27 here in Texas.
Tell me a little bit more about your district. What's going on in 27?
So my district is a big district. It was one that was gerrymandered. I have 17 counties or parts of counties.
Wow.
So it stretches all the way from Travis County, Hayes, all the way down to Matagorda and here into Nueces County and back up again. So that's where my district lies. And with the gerrymandering, with the redistricting, they thought they were such a safe district. I was an R+17.
Wow.
And they're like, we're just going to take some of her red. We're going to dilute that district because she's just a school teacher running for Congress.
Yeah.
And so now I'm an R+10. So we are in that zone of really being able to flip this district this year.
I mean, everybody loves an underdog, right?
Right. We do.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about that. What's your race been like, from start to finish?
From start to finish, this is my second cycle. I ran in the 24 cycle when it was an R+17, and there was not going to be a Democrat in the seat if I didn't run, if I didn't step up and run, if he was going to run unopposed. And I looked at my husband and said, that can't happen.
Yeah.
And made the decision to run for Congress. And I knew I wasn't going to win. I knew it was a really deep red district. There's always a chance, right?
Yeah.
But it was a slim one, and we knew that going in. We worked really hard. Put a lot of miles on my car the first time around.
I'm sure.
And talked to a lot of people. I got a lot of people excited. And then as soon as the race was over, literally, they called it. It was 36% of the vote. I had people calling and texting me and asking me to run again.
Yeah.
So here I am, second time around, and now we have, I think, a real shot at winning this district this fall. So.
That area, I'm from the San Marcos area. That's a really fast growing part of the state. Tell me a little bit more about that. What kind of challenges is the district facing?
So it is a fast growing state. I live in Caldwell County.
Yeah.
Which is, and Lockhart ISD is one of the fastest growing school districts in the state of Texas. And we are opening schools when other people are closing schools. So that tells you how fast we're growing. But it also does make it a challenge because we've got brand new neighborhoods that are not in van. We have addresses that are not, we just don't have any contact information for a lot of these people until they register to vote. And so it's kind of a lagging behind. So it's just going to be a matter of getting out in those neighborhoods and block walking and meeting those people as they're moving into the neighborhood. Same thing for Coyote Butte area.
Yeah. When you're meeting those people, what kind of conversations are you having? What issues are they talking about?
Same thing everybody is talking about right now. Affordability, housing prices, the price of gas, the war in Iran, grocery prices, daycare. People can't afford daycare, so they're leaving their kids home alone.
Yeah.
They're the latchkey kids, kind of like my generation had latchkey kids.
Yeah.
But I teach first grade traditionally.
Yeah.
And I have had kinders and first graders that are staying home alone.
Wow.
Because their parents can't afford daycare.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's insane.
It's very sad. It's very sad.
Wow.
So,
what kind of perspective as a teacher can you bring to this? I mean, James Talarico, he's talked a lot about what being a teacher brought to his campaign. What about you?
So I see firsthand.
Yeah.
What is happening with this administration? I have parents come to me. Like we have parent-teacher conference, and I'm like, I think your kid might need glasses, or I think there's a speech impairment. Have you talked to your pediatrician about any of these things? And they're like, well, we lost our health insurance. I can't go to the pediatrician. And I've had lots of parents come to me and tell me that they don't have health care anymore. And they're obviously probably the same parents that don't have daycare, after school or before school, and their kids are staying home alone. And so the whole affordability thing, I live in a small town, and there's not a lot of job opportunities that pay more than a little over minimum wage.
Yeah.
But there's no transportation to get into a bigger city like Austin. So a lot of people that are in that cycle feel really stuck and they can't get out of it. So that's my perspective as a teacher. I see every day the implications in real life of what's happening to working families.
Yeah. All right. Just to close out, what message do you have for our listeners, and how can they get involved?
So I think really what we need to do as a teacher, I have telling all my constituents this is a group project. We have 17 counties working on a group project, and we all need to do our part. And we are working on numbers right now. We're giving every county and every precinct a goal of voters that they need to bring into the polls in November. But we all need to do our part in that group project, because if we all come out and vote, honestly, we can win this. Based on the numbers we saw in the primary, I was expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of about 25,000 total votes in the primary between the three of us in the primary. My win number in the primary was 17,500. I got 35,000 votes.
Wow.
So overall, the three Democrats in that race got around 55,000 votes, which rivaled what the Republicans had brought in the primary. So if we all get out and vote, and we do that in November like we did in the primary, I really think we're good. But we cannot sleep on that voting. We got to get it done.
Yeah, the energy here, this convention is palpable.
It's
and
amazing.
We're bringing that to the ballot box.
It's amazing, yes. Bringing it to the ballot box. Thank you so much for having me today. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Have a good one.
You too.